What's up guys, this is your favorite fanfic YouTuber, the Fanfic Majesty, and welcome to another amazing video. You can follow me on Patreon for exclusive stories.
4 et. Chapter 76 Fishing Location, Wanokuni Ghost Island. Marine is speechless. Are you against the four emperors? Advertisement. Sengoku did not go to the Holy Land Mariajoy this time, but contacted the five elders and others through the phone bug. Although five elders was somewhat dissatisfied with Sengoku's application for 3 billion Baileys, they finally agreed to approve it. At the same time, there is a request, that is, to go to the Holy Land Mariajoy with monk and magical items, five elders to see for themselves. Sengoku rejected the former request. He has now become a tool of the world government, and does not want monk to become a tool of the world government. Although Sengoku usually scolds Garp for his outspoken remarks, he actually has doubts about the world government in his heart, but compared to the world government, those pirates have caused more harm to the people. Furthermore, in the position of Sengoku, he also has too much helplessness. In fact, he can't help himself in everything, and the cause of power also means that the bondage is greater. So Sengoku doesn't want the nephew of monk to become a tool of the world government. But is it possible? Sengoku doesn't know. In short, he can only take a step and see a step, and he can protect it for a while, then for a while. The five elders were extremely dissatisfied with Sengoku's refusal, but after thinking about it, they decided to give up meeting monk for the time being, and wait for Marine to finish fishing this time, and then bring the magical items to see before making any plans. If it is really enough to change the world, then the five elders will definitely ignore Sengoku's refusal and must face monk. At this point, the conversation between Sengoku and five elders is over, and they have also received funding of 5 billion Baileys. Just wait for Momosugi to come and report, and see where the fishing spot update is tomorrow. Sengoku murmured and began to wait. Inside Naval Headquarters, Monk's Ocean View Suite. Monk was already sitting in the easy chair, with Momosugi and Zephyr beside him. Momosugi is also lying on the easy chair and puffing, and now she is learning monk. The most out of place among the three was Zephyr, the veteran standing aside dignifiedly, like a servant, or a bodyguard. Zephyr looked at Momosugi lying on the easy chair, very dissatisfied. By the way, Momosugi, you are here to protect monk, how can you do this? Zephyr's tone was a little low, obviously sullen. Momosugi's long legs changed to a different posture, appearing more lazy. Monk's combat power surpasses mine, what else do I need to protect? What? Zephyr raised an eyebrow, surprised. He went home to stay with his wife and daughter for 2 days, and he just came back this afternoon, so he didn't know the specific situation. What? Don't believe it. Momosugi continued to puff. Because Wazi cigarettes are harmless after systematic improvement, and the only value of primary Wazi cigarettes is enjoyment, so Monk is not stingy at all, and takes out all the junior tobacco and alcohol for free prostitution. You can find out by asking Monk yourself. Now, I have lost all confidence after being hit. Momosugi murmured, with a look of badness. I have been working hard for so many years, and I have not achieved as much as others in a few days. What else do I work hard on? Just imitate Monk and play badly. Anyway, I have already decided, I will hold Monk's thigh from now on. Monk left Momosugi aside, my thighs are not easy to hug. Then I don't care, Momosugi said in a bad way. Monk didn't continue to say anything. He didn't dislike Momosugi, a woman. Her appearance and figure were also online. Coupled with the recent relationship, Monk is actually willing to take care of her. After a pause, Monk smiled suddenly. Holding the thigh is also fine, and I will leave the hygiene of my room to you from now on. Momosugi rolled her eyes, turned her head and said in a low voice, I don't want it. Zephyr looked at the maid outfit Momosugi was still wearing, and chose not to speak. No. Then I went back for 2 days, how can I still be dressed like this? But this is not something he manages, so he doesn't talk too much. What Zephyr is most curious about is Monk's strength. Momosugi said that his strength has surpassed Momosugi. Is it true? Momosugi is about to be hailed as Admiral's alternate, and his strength can already be regarded as the most cutting-edge group of people under Admiral, of course. Garp and Crane, the old guys in the Marine are not counted. And Monk is even more powerful than Momosugi. 2 days ago, although Zephyr was shocked by Monk's strength, the premise was that he always thought that Monk had no strength, and now. Momosugi told herself that Monk has surpassed her in strength and became the no. 1 Admiral under Marine. This is outrageous, can't describe it. Zephyr took a deep breath and wanted to ask Monk, but was interrupted by Monk first. I'm going. Pipe question mark quote. Monk exclaimed. Advertisement. This caught the attention of both Momosugi and Zephyr, who asked at the same time, what's the matter? At the same time, the two were surprised, what did Monk mean by, I'll go? Zephyr and Momosugi followed Monk, especially Momosugi followed for several days, and found that Monk would sometimes say some words that she didn't quite understand. For example, digging, special meow, and what else, guanbaojiao. It always feels like Monk doesn't belong to this era. The corner of Monk's mouth twitched and said, the fishing location has changed. Tomorrow's fishing location is Wanokuni Ghost Island. Momosugi's beautiful eyes widened, and Zephyr's mouth opened slightly. Wanokuni Onishima. Again, it's the territory of the four emperors again. Zephyr was shocked, asking Marine to challenge the limit every time. Yeah, Monk said gloomily, and then lay down on the easy chair. He ignored it. Anyway, go fishing wherever he goes, and the system didn't deliberately trick him. When he was resting, the fishing place was still in the Beidou continent, the stronghold of the revolutionary army. So it is indeed random. It can only be said that life is such a drama. Although Momosuke and Zephyr were surprised, after the previous fishing trips, they had seen big scenes, so they quickly accepted it. I'm going to report to the marshal, so that Marine can prepare in advance. Momosuke stood up while talking. By the way, Momosuke, don't you need to change your outfit? Zephyr reminded. Ha ha ha. Zephyr, I helped Momosuke open up a whole new world, and now Momosuke has realized that she prefers maid uniforms to military uniforms, which are more comfortable for people to wear now. Momosuke glared at Monk viciously, snorted coldly, jumped up and left the room. Zephyr only found it funny when he saw that Monk and Momosuke looked like a happy couple. After a while, Zephyr withdrew his smile and said, Monk, is what Momosuke said just now true? Your strength really surpassed Momosuke and became the first person under Marine Admiral. Monk didn't seem too interested in the topic. My strength has indeed improved a lot, but in terms of combat experience, it is naturally much worse. If I really face Momosuke, I may not be able to gain an advantage. Zephyr saw that Monk was not very interested in the topic of combat power, and basically did not explain his specific combat power to himself, but from the words, Zephyr still had an understanding of Monk's current specific combat power. If you fight against Momosuke, you may not necessarily be able to gain an advantage, and the combat experience is not enough, which means that once the combat experience is good, Monk will be able to gain an advantage. It seems that Monk didn't say anything, no matter how perfunctory, it has already shown that his strength is indeed higher than that of Momosuke. Zephyr swallowed calmly, with mixed feelings in his heart. To say that Monk is really like what Sengoku said, when he was originally planned to participate in recruit training, he would have no combat power, just an ordinary person. This means that Monk has been promoted from an ordinary person to the first person under Marine Admiral in just over a week. This is a bit of an exaggeration. For a moment, Zephyr suddenly understood why Momosuke was hit, and he was hit now. He can be regarded as an evildoer in Marine, but it took more than 10 years to nearly 20 years to become a vice admiral from a small soldier. He joined the army in his teens, and became an admiral at the age of 45. He used to be a little proud of his achievements like this, but now compared to Monk, Zephyr feels that he is nothing. Zephyr looked at the easy chairs of Monk and Momosuke, and there was another easy chair for him. After hesitating for a moment, he asked, is this someone's? That's right. Monk chuckled, it was originally prepared for you. Zephyr didn't say anything, and sat down. At this time, he was still a little cautious, and he asked for cigarettes and alcohol from Monk, and enjoyed it a little stiffly. The monk in the middle couldn't help chuckling seeing Zephyr like this. I'm afraid this well-behaved baker will soon cease to exist. At the same time, Momosuke reported the news of Monk's fishing tomorrow to Sengoku. Everyone is used to Momosuke's clothes, and Momosuke has been dressed like this for the past few days. As for going to Wanokuni Onijima tomorrow, everyone in Marine is more calm, because they are used to it. After these several times of fishing, the Marine generals have been trained to have a big heart. They even felt that it was easier to go to Ghost Island this time than the last time. Compared with the last time, it was the junction of the two emperors' territories, this time it was just a single queen's territory. Advertisement. Sengoku glanced around and said in a deep voice, although the Wanokuni we went to this time is only the territory of one of the four emperors, it is the Beast's pirates known for their violence. Compared to Whitebeard and the Redheads, the Beast's pirates are more belligerent, unreasonable, and cruel. Sengoku reminded everyone present not to take it lightly, and then asked Momosuke if the proficiency of Monk's devil fruit ability had improved. The reason why he applied for 5 billion Baileys with 5 elders is to prepare for the improvement of Monk's proficiency and fishing for more advanced fishing. Momosuke nodded. During the recent vacation, Monk told her about the improvement of proficiency. Sengoku was overjoyed when he heard the words, and the other generals also looked at him with interest. I think you should not be happy too early, said Momosuke. Because of the special fishing this time, the cost will be 2 billion Baileys. Suddenly all the generals present were in an uproar. What? 2 billion Baileys at once? Isn't the cost too outrageous? In this case, how can our Marine afford it? 1 time is 2 billion Baileys, and those 10 times are 20 billion Baileys, which is equivalent to 4 Whitebeards. The reason why Whitebeard is so valuable is because he is the Emperor of the Sea and the number 1 powerhouse after Roger. Sengoku, who was at the top, was also frustrated. Even though he had seen many big scenes as the Marine Marshal, 2 billion Baileys is not a small number. Originally, I was worried that applying for 5 billion Baileys would be too much, but now it seems a little less. In other words, you can only fish for super fishing twice. Momosuke also ignored the reactions of the generals present and Sengoku. After reporting the matter, she turned and left. Open the conference room, go back to Monk and continue to drink and smoke. For things like money, just let these high-level people have a headache. In the conference room, Sengoku still asked the generals to prepare the Marine soldiers overnight as usual, and he discussed with the high-level generals such as Crane how to fish this time. Although it is said that there are more advanced super fishing, it is impossible to spend all 5 billion Baileys on it. The bright moon in the sky was quickly replaced by the sun hanging high in the sky, and the time came to Zhengsheng the next day. On the Marine Square, the 10,000 elite Marines are ready to go, and Generals Lo Wang Zhao can be seen everywhere. Sengoku, San Admiral, Garp, Suru and other marine executives gathered together, waiting for the arrival of Monk. Just wait until the monk arrives, then they can go fishing on Ghost Island. As for the conditions for using any door, only those who have been to Ghost Island can open it. This is very simple for Marine. After so many years of stalemate with the four emperors, there will naturally be informants in Marine who have arrived on Ghost Island. Sengoku summoned these people to rush back to naval headquarters overnight, so as long as Monk arrives in Marine, he can go to the East District. Meanwhile, Ghost Island. In the Skull Palace, Kaido's huge body is hidden in the shadows, and a voice resounds faintly, with a deep smile. Lin, we haven't seen each other for more than 10 years, right? Ooh, I have to say, the difference between you now and you in the past is so great that I almost couldn't recognize you. Andy had a sinister smile on her face, and her brows were full of displeasure. Kaido, stop talking nonsense. What happened just now? Even though I informed you in advance, your people still attacked me on the waterfall entering Wano-kuni. Mom is really upset. Lin, I'm training for you, you should thank me for the pressure. I thank you for the hammer, Kaido. Big Mom vented her anger directly. Napoleon in his hand slashed towards Kaido. Kaido, who was sitting on the high back chair, also burst out domineering in his eyes under the shadows. With his thick and huge arms, he swung the 8 fasts beside him, that is, mace, to meet Big Mom's blow. Immediately, the entire palace trembled, and at the same time, a huge crack opened above the outer sky. The Battle of the Two Kings. Advertisement. Chapter 77 Marine lands on Ghost Island. Actually met the double emperor again. Advertisement. Auntie and Kaido fought and exchanged blows, but soon the two sat down to discuss matters. Both of them are old acquaintances, and they both know each other's temper. Hey, the corners of Kaido's mouth were drawn. Lin, your strength has improved a lot compared to before, but you are still far behind me. While Kaido praised, he didn't forget to belittle Big Mom. This made the ant snort coldly. Kaido, are you still ashamed to say it? If it weren't for my favor back then, do you think you would be able to achieve what you are today? Kaido, you forgot. I didn't forget, I will always remind you. Kaido groaned. He felt a little regretful. If he had known that he wouldn't be a yin and yang ant, maybe she wouldn't mention it. When the Rocks Pirates disbanded, Big Mom gave Kaido the Yu fruit, which is also the favor that Kaido owes Big Mom from then until now. Kaido changed the subject and said, Lin, don't talk about what happened back then, is this time just to reminisce about the old days? Didn't you say that the Vince Moke family reproduced magical items? Speaking of this ant, she immediately became excited. Ha ha ha, Mon. That's right. As she said that, the ant took out one of Monk's Myriad Realms props, the fairy bean. This is called the fairy bean, and it is one of Monk's magical items. Its effect is to bring a person back to peak form and heal any injuries at the same time. Kaido, Jin, Quinn and others saw the fairy beans in Big Mom's hands, because the fairy beans are similar to ordinary beans, so they look more miniature and inconspicuous against Big Mom's huge body. But such an inconspicuous thing has such a heaven-defying effect. To be honest, why does the magical item feel different from what I and others imagined? Kaido, Jin and Quinn couldn't help but look at Jack. At this time, Jack was still wrapped in bandages, and I have to say that Garp's blow was really sharp. Because it hurt the bottom. Jack nodded. He had seen many magical items before, one of which was fairy beans. Although he has seen it before, but because the appearance of Shondo is too ordinary, he is not sure if it is the magical item of Monk. Kaido intends to let the ant give this fairy bean to Jack, so that he can see the effect of the magical item 600 times. But being rejected by the ant, what a joke. This is genuine, and she is only the amount Sengoku gave her before, not much at all. It doesn't need to be genuine, just right. In fact, Vince Moke's family reproduced the fairy bean, we call it the little fairy bean. Although the effect is only 3/10 of Monk's genuine fairy beans, but a few more times are enough. As the ant said, she signaled Judge to bring the fairy beans, and Judge didn't talk nonsense, and brought the fairy beans directly. He took out a big bag of small fairy beans, and these little fairy beans were lighter in color than the genuine ones, not so emerald green. Hee. Judge chuckled. He directly gave Jack 5 small fairy beans, and while handing them to Jack, he outlined the corners of his mouth, and said with some pride, although the effect is not as powerful as before, it is better in quantity. We can achieve mass production of Xiaoshondo. Judge is proud not only that he reproduced Xiaoshondo, but also that his status and influence have improved. Now, with his own technology, he can make the Big Mom pirates unable to do without him and needs his help, which means that his influence will soon extend to New World. His goal has been achieved, and there is no need for marriage. Of course, Judge will still choose to let Sanji marry Dama, which will make the position of Vince Moke's family stronger. Under the watchful eyes of everyone, Jack took the fairy beans. After taking 5 pills in succession, Jack was overjoyed and stood up straight away, saying, my wound that hasn't healed for many days is really healed. Ha ha. Jack laughed, and quickly tore off all the bandages on his body. The original wounds were really healed, and there was no injury on his body. Kaido, Jin, Quinn and the others saw the magic of magical items for the first time, and they were all very surprised. This healing effect is only 3/10. Quinn couldn't help but marvel. Stepping to Jack's side, he looked at Jack. Quinn is not only a scientist, but also the ship doctor of the Beast's pirates, so he has seen Jack's injuries directly. Advertisement. It's no surprise that such a serious injury healed in an instant. Although Jin was surprised, he didn't act too intensely. He said in a deep voice, "Brother Kaido, this little fairy bean has a physique stronger than your strongest creature." Although Jin didn't continue to speak, everyone present understood what he was going to say. The ant laughed loudly. "Jin, what can't you say? This little fairy bean is heaven-defying several times stronger than Kaido's strongest biological physique, and the genuine fairy bean is the strongest biological physique. By the way, Jin, I've hardly seen your family, how about you join our Big Mom pirates?" Kaido turned black. "Linlin, don't you see where you are now? Not only belittle myself, but also win over my people, isn't this too presumptuous?" But Kaido also has to admit that his strongest creature physique is simply not comparable to that of Xiaoshondo. By the way, according to the information, this genuine fairy bean can heal the old wounds, right? Marine's predecessor, Admiral Zephyr, recovered after hearing that his broken arm was broken. Ha 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 ha. That's right, the ant laughed. Then, Kaido's eyes flickered. "Master of Vince Moke, does the fairy bean you reproduced have this effect?" Judge felt helpless. "No. Although it has a powerful healing ability, the regeneration ability cannot be reproduced at present." Kaido's eyes were dark, but he didn't say anything, and continued to ask, "What about the scar on my abdomen?" He pointed to the two intersecting scars on his stomach, where Odin left him. Judge was a little helpless. "There is no way, what can be cured is probably the injury of the last few months. I have to say that Monk's magical items are so outrageous, most of the functions are difficult for us to replicate." At this time, the ant said, "Monk's magical items can only be obtained through fishing, and the yield is low. Although the effect is small, we can take the amount. Sengoku, this time, I want you to cooperate with our Big Mom pirates, and we will work together to capture more magical items." Before Kaido could answer, members of the Beast's pirates hurried in. Before anyone arrived, the voice came first. "Master Kaido, something is wrong." The member of the Beast's pirates stumbled over and delivered the amazing news that Marine had landed on Ghost Island. This news caused a sudden change in the faces of all Beast's pirates members present. "What's the situation? Marine landed. How is this possible?" That was the first thought of all the Beast's pirates present. Only Jack suddenly wanted to understand what was going on. After all, when he was in Reese Rosa, Marine left a deep impression on him. Marine came to Ghost Island. For Big Mom pirates and Vince Moke's family, although everyone was surprised, they didn't feel too confused, and instantly understood what was going on. "It seems that this time Marine's fishing spot is your Ghost Island, Kaido." The ant said with a sneer, with a hint of gloating on her face at the same time. It used to be her Cake Island, now it's Kaido's Ghost Island. Sitting on the high back chair, Kaido's eyes suddenly changed, and his face became more sullen. "Fishing. The guys from Marine CJBD dare to come to my place to fish, what do they think of me as Kaido of the Beasts? Come whenever you want. This is the Island of Ghosts, but I, Kaido of the Beasts, control it." Kaido's anger gradually burst out as his voice rose. As a strong man who worships violence, Kaido's own temper is extremely hot, and he hates Marine very much, so Kaido can't tolerate Marine coming directly to his territory. Laozi will let Marine know what to do and what not to do today. Kaido directly transformed into the blue dragon form, then stepped on the flame cloud, and flew away directly from the huge eyes of the skeleton. This eye seemed to be for Kaido to fly away directly in the blue dragon form. In the main hall, Jin, Yin, Jack and the others exchanged glances. Without further ado, Jin also transformed into his own devil fruit form, that is, the pteranodon form, and left the hall. Quinn said to Jack, "Urgently summon all Beasts Pirates members, as well as the cadres." Advertisement. "I'm afraid there will be a big battle today." On the ant's side, she laughed out loud. "Ha ha ha, Mon. There is a good show to watch. Let's go, sons and daughters, let's join in the fun, maybe we can get some benefits, ha ha ha." Auntie was very happy. Before the Whitebeard pirates and the Red Hair pirates, Marine gave a lot of benefits so that the two kings would not make a move, and the magical items were even intermediate. As long as she shows up this time, if Marine wants to settle down, he has to come up with something better. Thinking of this, the ant left the hall excitedly. The small island at the entrance of the Ghost Island is the only boundary to enter the Ghost Island, and there is still a river away from the main island of the Ghost Island. At this time, all the Beasts Pirates members present were shocked and terrified as they watched the Marine generals appear one by one. Marine Marshal Sengoku, 3 Admiral, and Marine Hero, Garp. The former Admiral Zephyr. What the hell is this door? Is Naval Headquarters behind it? It seems so. Naval Headquarters leads directly to our Ghost Island. The appearance of Marine completely threw the members of Beasts Pirates into disarray. They couldn't understand what was going on in front of them. Because the magical items are all information received by the parties, own eyeliners, most of them only know the news. For these low-level members, they don't even know that Marine has such things as magical items. This is why the members of the Beasts Pirates are so stunned and panicked after seeing Marine appear. After all, any door has completely refreshed their world view. Could it be some kind of devil fruit ability? If this is the case, then the ability of this devil fruit is too scary, right? At the same time, a group of Beasts Pirates members also discovered that a little devil had been mixed in among a group of strong Marines. Although the strength of these members of Beasts Pirates was just the same, they had experienced battles anyway, and they could see it at a glance. These marine bosses are consciously protecting this young man. This shocked the hearts of all Beast's members, guessing who this young man was. Sengoku glanced around and frowned as he watched the members of the Beast's pirates who were constantly increasing. The Beast's pirates are indeed trickier than the Big Mom pirates. He said to Akainu and the other 3 admirals, "Clear the field directly, and then Monk, you start fishing directly." Aokiji took the lead and directly used his own ice fruit ability to freeze everyone present into ice sculptures. Of course, some of the crowd inevitably had a decent ability to escape. On Monk's side, he had already started preparing fishing tools, but at this moment, a violent voice resounded throughout the audience, and it seemed that even the entire Ghost Island was shocked. Marine. This caused everyone present to turn their heads to look at the sky, and saw Kaido in the form of a green dragon approaching from far to near in front of everyone. Even in the face of a group of strong Marines, Kaido, the blue dragon, is not afraid at all. Instead, he asked Marine, "Marine, what do you mean?" Before Marine could answer, Jin in Pteranodon form appeared behind Kaido, and at the same time Quinn and Jack led the large army of Beast's pirates also appeared one after another. However, these were expected by Marine, but what made Marine generals look gloomy was that the Big Mom pirates also appeared here, including the Vince Moke family. Big Mom pirates. Crane was surprised, she couldn't help but looked at Sengoku and said, "This situation is a bit beyond our imagination." Yo, it's facing the Shuangwang again. Kizaru's eyes widened with an exaggerated expression. It's really scary. Beside Monk, Zephyr leaned closer to Monk, and his fists began to clench. And Momosuke was speechless, she couldn't help turning to Monk and said, "Why does it feel like every time I bring you here for fishing, there must be nothing good? It's okay to meet the Shuangwang just once, but I didn't expect to meet the Shuangwang again. No one is so lucky." Sengoku's face was also ugly, originally this time he didn't intend to use magical items to calm things down. Because Kaido is different from the other 4 emperors, he always provokes Marine. Sengoku planned to take this opportunity to attack Kaido, but he didn't expect that the Big Mom pirates would appear here. "It seems that we can only change the plan," Sengoku whispered to Suru. Crane nodded. "Just like before, use Monk's magic item to appease the tyrant's anger." Advertisement. Chapter 78 Reject Kaido's invitation. Let's fight the Double Emperor. Advertisement. Sengoku exhaled slowly, and stepped forward immediately. Then he looked up at Kaido above the sky, restrained his original expression, and smiled. "Kaido, this time I'm here to borrow the port of your Ghost Island for a day." Before Sengoku could finish speaking, above the sky, Kaido suddenly said sharply, "Our Kaido of the Beasts, sight is borrowed by you Marine. And, he even shot at my people. Aokiji just used Ice Age, but frozen a lot of Beast members. That was just an accident, Kaido." Among the crowd, Garp stood up with a smile and said, "Accident." Kaido raised an eyebrow. Immediately after, a high temperature appeared in his giant dragon's mouth, and in the next second he breathed heat directly at the Marine below. This heat can flatten a mountain, and its power is astonishing. Even for the powerhouses of Marine, heat is extremely threatening. Garp frowned, clenched his fists, and planned to make a move, while Akainu took the lead. Great eruption. Also as a representative of bad temper, Akainu has long been disgusted with Kaido. I saw him jumping up, his arm turned into magma, and then he punched out. The fiery magma collided with Kaido's heat in the air, and the next second there was a violent explosion sound, and the people below suddenly felt the surrounding temperature rise by several degrees. At the same time, both sides collided with fire attribute attacks. After the explosion, many flames were produced, which fell like rain. Marine below, Aokiji made a move to easily resolve this crisis. Above the sky, Akainu did not fall as Kaido imagined, but was actually suspended in midair. Above his head, there is a small propeller circling, driving Akainu without falling. Kaido's Longan shrank, very surprised, flying device. Is this also a magical item? Otherwise, how could it be so light? Behind Kaido, Jin was also surprised, there is such a flying machine. It was the first time for Fang Jack and the Big Mom pirates to see the magical item of bamboo dragonfly, and they were all surprised. Such a miniature flying device, isn't it too convenient? Quinn exclaimed. Most of his body is biochemically modified, most of it is mechanical. But before, he wanted to install a flying machine for himself so that he could fly, but because he was too big, the flying device to be installed was also very heavy and inflexible. And now this magical object on Akainu's head, although it looks a bit silly, it is miniature. I just don't know if it's flexible or not. Quinn murmured to himself. Above the sky, Akainu ignored everyone's opinion about the magical object on his head. His eyes are dark, and hot magma is still flowing from his arms. Whether it's magical or not, it's not about you. Kaido, you have to borrow this port today, or you have to borrow it if you don't. Akainu spoke firmly. This couldn't help but make Kaido on the opposite side laugh out loud. When did I, Kaido of the Beasts, be threatened like this? After finishing speaking, Kaido's eyes turned cold, and blue smoke came out of his mouth. It was obvious that he was about to attack again. At this time, the ant laughed lowly. Kaido, don't be so aggressive. After finishing speaking, the ant looked at Marine with a big smile, and said, as long as Marine gives us something we are satisfied with, it is not impossible to lend this port. Big Mom is going to let Marine buy magical items in exchange for the right to use the port. However, in midair, Kaido's deep voice sounded. Linlin, why are you different now from before? When we worked together, you were not like this. Without waiting for Auntie's response, Kaido laughed and said, it's better for us to choose ourselves than Marine chooses. Ant was taken aback, not understanding what Kaido meant by this sentence. Below, Sengoku, Crane and the others couldn't help but sink. Sengoku snapped, Kaido, what do you mean? Are you planning to start a war here? Zephyr got closer to Mokai from behind, and Momosagi's expression became serious this time. She whispered to Monk, Monk, hurry up and fish, we will do our best to protect you. In case the situation gets out of control, I will protect you to evacuate as soon as possible. Monk sneered, but didn't say anything. Naturally, Marine will not miss this fishing, so they will do their best to protect Monk for fishing. Advertisement. Of course, once the situation becomes uncontrollable, Marine is also ready to give up fishing this time and let Momosagi cover Monk to leave. Above the sky, Kaido ignored Sengoku's questioning, and his long eyes aimed at Monk, who happened to take out his fishing gear at this time. Kaido laughed. Is this the brat? The source of all magical items is really young. How about joining me Beasts Pirates, kid? Kaido of the Beasts announced here that as long as you join our Beasts Pirates, I will definitely let you enjoy the high status and power compared to Marine. Quote. Monk looked up at Kaido while pulling out fishing equipment from the universal capsule. Then he sneered and said, I'm a little moved by what I said. But if I do, my uncle will break my leg. Sengoku said coldly, I will not only break your legs, but also shoot you to death. Although he said so, the corners of Sengoku's mouth were still upturned, revealing a smug smile. Although the boy monk is a bit irritating on weekdays, he still has a lot of backbone at critical moments. As a newcomer, I don't have much strength yet, but I dare to face Kaido of the Beasts with a smile and behave calmly, this is strength. Kaido narrowed his eyes slightly, don't blame me for not giving you a chance. Said, Kaido looked at the ant and said, Linlin, didn't you say you want to join forces? It just so happens that Marine is here, so you and I will join forces to snatch Marine's magical items. It's definitely better for us to snatch it ourselves than to give alms by the Marines. That knife, there are many fairy beans, and the more Kaido said, the more excited his face became, even snatch Monk. Below, Sister Yin understood what Kaido meant. That's right. Compared to Marine choosing magical items for herself and others, it's better to take advantage of her and Kaido's presence and snatch Marine directly to get better magical items. Even snatched the monk directly, so there is no magic item. A grin appeared on the ant's face. Kaido, what you said makes sense. It's me who has been dominated by subjective ideas. The Napoleon pirate hat on the top of the ant's head turned into a saber. Seeing this, the double emperors behind them also started preparing for the battle. Sengoku's face turned completely cold. Crane, execute the plan. Sengoku told Suru the execution plan. Crane nodded, directly picked up the phone and said to the man on the phone, the dragon slaying plan has started. Dragon slaying project. Kaido raised his eyebrows. Marine, your plan is really daring. If this is the case, let's see if I, Kaido, slaughtered you, or you slaughtered me. Attack with all members, whoever captures the monk first will be the greatest hero. This sentence made the members of Beasts Pirates boil immediately, as if they had been beaten with blood. Although Kaido is brutal and a veritable tyrant, he is also a veritable, senior business manager. As long as he does something good for Kaido, he will not be stingy with rewards. Even as long as you feel strong, you can improve your status through challenges. So since Kaido said that there will be rewards, as long as you catch the monk, the rewards will definitely not be less. On the ant's side, she raised Napoleon in her hand. Everyone, kill. Give me the monk. On the side of Vince Mokai's family, everyone couldn't help looking at Judge, wanting to see the choice of this family member. Do you want to watch a play, or do you want to intervene in this battle? The corner of Judge's mouth is outlined. War. I want more magical items too. Since researching Monk's magical items, the former MASD member became more excited and dreamed of Monk's magical items. As long as you get more magical items from Monk, then the Emperor will always need him, so that his status in the Vince Mokai family will be higher, and the more he can penetrate into the new world. Of course, the premise is that Monk cannot be obtained by Xuanguang, so he must intervene to disrupt the situation at a critical moment. In this battle, Vince Mokai's family also participated in the battle, but Judge mainly let his sons and daughters snatch the magical items, and he was responsible for breaking the game. Marine, get ready to die, the sea of people on our side can drown you. Above the sky, Kaido laughed. Sengoku chuckled. That's not necessarily the case, though. Without waiting for Kaido to react, one after another random doors appeared around the boundary of Ghost Island. And from any door, the Marine generals led the Marine soldiers to keep coming out of the door. Advertisement. Dozens of people, hundreds of people, thousands of people. Originally there were only Marine members Sengoku and Admiral on Oni Island, but in a short period of time, many Marines emerged. All this happened in just a few minutes. The Beasts Pirates members owned stronghold, and the Beasts Pirates themselves were surrounded by Marine soldiers. Ask for flowers, 0. Everything happened so fast and so suddenly that Jin, Quinn, Jack, and other cadres didn't react. On Big Mom's side, the expressions of Katakuri and other 4 generals also changed drastically, and they were deeply shocked by what happened before them. Above the sky, Kaido's face changed drastically, and he couldn't believe it to the extreme. There are so many doors. At this moment, Kaido fully realized the heaven-defying strategic value from magical items. This kind of instant military support is impossible for any modern technology. But Kaido wasn't afraid at all, instead he was excited like seeing a treasure. It's really a good thing. Mystical items are really a good thing. If our beasts pirates have this door, do we still need to worry about sailing? Kaido's longan burst into golden light. On the other side, Akainu said coldly, Kaido, soon you won't be able to laugh anymore. For this fishing trip, Marine has made sufficient preparations and made several plans. Because Kaido is cruel and unreasonable, it is said that Sengoku has long been prepared for a war with Kaido, and this is the dragon plan in it. Kaido didn't care at all. Although I was shocked by the increase in your marine soldiers, we beasts pirates still have the advantage. You marine soldiers are estimated to be less than 10,000 now. Ooh, Kaido's eyes burst into a sharp color. And my 100 beasts has 20,000 people, plus those who failed. Joyful one, our army of beasts is as high as 50,000. Akainu sneered. Kaido, although it is true, numbers are worth nothing in front of artillery. Kaido's expression changed. Immediately below, the marine generals around took out the capsules, and then released a series of giant artillery. The black muzzle of the artillery was aimed at the beast's pirates, causing the faces of the beast's pirates and members of the Big Mom pirates to change drastically. I'm going, giant cannon. How did Marine get here? Even if this is Ghost Island, it would be very difficult for us to carry this thing. It seems to be made from something that can't be reached with a slap. Nima, is this our territory or Marine's territory? It's outrageous. If we bomb together, we will definitely suffer heavy casualties. The beast's pirates all exclaimed again and again. The huge black hole of the muzzle made them fight, and the morale of the army was a little messed up. Above the sky, even Kaido, the strongest creature, is not calm at this moment. He has never encountered such a battle in the years since he established the regiment. He only heard a low moan, and then the blue smoke rose again from his mouth. What about the giant artillery? Let me destroy them all. In Kaido's mouth, the heat was ready, and then he spit out towards the giant artillery below the marine. Akainu's eyes narrowed. Kaido, your opponent is me. The magma on his body erupted, and Akainu intercepted Kaido's breath with the bamboo dragonfly. The two sides fought instantly. The battle in the sky started, and Sengoku below also began to call the shots, fire the artillery. As soon as the voice fell, a giant shell bombarded out immediately. Jin, Quinn, Jack and other beasts pirates cadres immediately went to stop them, and on Marine's side, the remaining two admirals also took action. Aokiji, Kizaru were all involved to join the fight. Monk was very surprised. Kizaru Admiral is so active. Forget about it, Monk. Momoshiki snapped. Hurry up and fish. According to the current situation, I guess I will protect you and leave Ghost Island soon. Okay, Monk replied while setting up fishing tools. This casual look, not at all aware of the fact that a war is happening around him, directly blows Momoshiki up. But this is the character of Monk. Momoshiki cursed secretly in his heart, and could only plan silently, and take Monk away if the situation is not good. Battlefield. Marine is fighting the beast's pirates. On the side of the Big Mom pirates, almost most of the combat power is neutral. Big Mom came directly to Monk and Zeus. Marine, leave Monk to us. Don't even think about it. Zephyr stood up and directly faced the ant to fight. As for the four generals, Vince Moke, everyone came to Monk one after another. Sengoku, he, Garp, all the generals had to take action. Momoshiki is the only one left around Monk who can protect. Advertisement. Chapter 79 Crazy for props. Monk Conquerors is amazing. Advertisement. The battle between the two sides broke out in an instant, and in a short time, the battle became intense. For this kind of large-scale battle, once it starts, it will be a direct melee without any transition at all. Although Sengoku's preparations were very sufficient this time, 10,000 marine elites were summoned in advance, and various deployments were also very comprehensive, even using more than a dozen giant artillery pieces. But as Kaido said before, the strength of his members has reached 50,000, of which 20,000 are givers, that is, man-made demon fruit power. So the combat power of beasts pirates cannot be ignored. In terms of high-end combat power, although Sengoku has the ability to double devil fruit, Akainu and Aokiji have conquerors, Garp and Crane regain their youth, and Zephyr recovers from a broken arm, but facing the complete combat power of the double kings, it is still as difficult to match. Sengoku directly pulled Big Mom and Judge, and fought against the two strong men. Although Judge does not have the power of a king, he is still a strong man in this sea, and he can still bring trouble to Sengoku. At this time, Sengoku incarnated as Wrath King Kong. The impact in the Buddha form coupled with the shock fruit ability, facing the two still dominated the peak. The ant resisted and cursed again and again. Originally, she was still very confident in facing Sengoku. Even on Cake Island a few days ago, Sengoku, who got a double devil fruit for the first time at that time, was not as difficult as today. In just a few days. Judge's face is also gloomy. His strength is not as strong as Big Mom's. Although his body has been transformed, he is not as big as Big Mom's heaven-defying Sengoku who can resist the double devil fruit ability. An embarrassment. Nima. In a short period of time, the proficiency of Sengoku's second devil fruit has increased so much. The most important thing about 7 is that the physical strength is more durable than before. Judge is so depressed, it's outrageous. He didn't participate in the battle before, and Sengoku wasn't that strong. Now that he's in the fight, Sengoku's cheating outrageously. Judge Pox regretted it a bit, and knew that he would not participate in the battle. Big Mom also gritted her teeth. Hole. Sengoku, how many stamina pills have you taken? And why did your shock fruit ability mastery improve so fast? The improvement of physical strength, Ant can understand, is a physical strength pill, and the mastery of devil fruit is also improved so quickly, which is a bit embarrassing for Ant. Is there any magical item that increases the mastery of devil fruit? Monk. Auntie's eyes flickered. Your magical items really have all kinds of ghosts. It makes me want you even more, Monk. Big Mom burst into flames again, and the Prometheus flames on her head made her look more like a witch. Other theaters. Above the sky, Kaido looked at Sengoku with dual demon fruit power, and his heart was extremely shocked. It really broke the laws of this world, broke the curse of devil fruit. Monk's magical items exactly. Obviously it is also a product derived from devil fruit's ability, why can it be so outrageous? Kaido really couldn't understand. That's all. Kaido simply doesn't care about these. If you don't understand it, don't think about it. Anyway, as long as you know that Monk's magical items are of great strategic significance. After Marine's deployment this time, Kaido saw the extremely huge strategic value of magical items. Monk. Kaido yelled. He swallowed the smoke, fired heat at Akainu directly, and did not pursue. Kaido stepped on the flame cloud and headed towards Monk. Now his only target is Monk. You will be the key for me to change the world, hehehehe. Jin, help me fend off Akainu. Brother Kaido, leave it to me. Jin got rid of his opponent and went directly to the bed. As the Emperor's deputy, Jin's strength is beyond doubt, of course. Compared with the strongest Admiral Akainu, he is still a bit inferior, and the current Akainu also has Conqueror's Haki. After these few days of crazy drinking Motai practice, Akainu has been able to use the means of winding, and his strength is stronger than before. However, Jin can still drag it on for a while. Akainu was blocked, and Kaido was released immediately, and he went straight to Monk and Momoshiki. Momosegi's pupils shrank immediately, then he gritted his teeth and pulled out the gold bra from his waist. She plans to face Kaido, the four emperors, directly. Although Momosegi knows that she has no chance of winning, she is willing to do her best to protect Monk. Advertisement. At this moment, Garp's figure appeared, holding a lightning pill in his hand. Garp blocks Kaido with a one-hit slash. Kaido couldn't help raising his eyebrows. This is the knife that can make someone the world's #1 swordsman. Garp sneered. That's right. Kaido, I'll kill you today. Kaido immediately sneered, and directly swept Garp with one tail, but Garp slashed out, causing Kaido to groan. Let Kaido break the defense with one knife. Kaido's eyes kept changing, and he realized that this knife should not be underestimated. Garp, a person who has never practiced sword skills, used a knife to break his defense. Although the injury is not serious, even with his strongest biological physique, he can recover soon, but breaking the defense is breaking the defense. Now Kaido understood why Jack didn't heal for so many days after being cut. This profound sword technique really made Garp the #1 swordsman in the world. Kaido didn't dare to underestimate the enemy any longer, and immediately turned into the strongest half-beast form, fighting Garp with all his strength. Although Garp blocked Kaido, Sengoku also stopped Big Mom, and both monsters were restrained by Marine, but the goal of the double royals is very clear, that is Monk. 4 generals, 3 disasters, Fei Lubao, Ant's retainer. A high-ranking strong man doesn't love to fight at all, and rushes towards Monk when he has the opportunity. As for Vince Moke, Judge was going to disrupt the situation, but now he and Big Mom are facing Sengoku, it's hard to get away. However, the plans of the sons and daughters were relatively smooth. With the technical support of Vince Moke's family, they snatched a lot of magical items from Marine. Although the more special magical items are in the hands of Marine powerhouses, such as lightning pills, bamboo dragonflies and other magical items, any door, fairy beans, and universal capsules are also of great strategic value, as long as they are obtained, they are earned. Besides, they don't have the magical item of any door yet. The battle became more and more fierce, and the artillery fire raged, and everyone's eyes were almost reddened. Facing the double Emperor lineup of Beasts Pirates and Big Mom Pirates, Marine's generals are also a little weak. Because in terms of high-end combat power, the combination of Kaido and Big Mom is far more than Marine. Even Momosegi had to fight to keep the enemy from getting close to the Monk. But even though Marine tried his best to block it, the double Emperors found an opportunity in the end, and Jack broke through to Monk's side. Everyone in Marine was shocked. Drought. Jack broke through to Monk's side. Even though Marine went all out, the battle strength of the double Emperors really suppressed Marine. The expressions of the Marine generals who were fighting suddenly changed drastically. Monk. Sengoku roared. Monk is not only Marine's hope and of great value to Marine, but also his nephew. Monk has never practiced at all, and he must have no resistance when facing Jack, one of the 3 major signs of Beasts Pirates. Once Monk is caught, it will be very difficult for Marine to take Monk back from Kaido. Sengoku exploded, leaving Big Mom and Judge alone to punch Jack in the distance. This punch uses Sengoku's full strength, shock fruit plus the shock wave from his Buddha form. Although it is possible to attack Monk while attacking Jack, Sengoku doesn't care because there are intermediate Sengoku. Just rush to Monk's side at the first time and serve him. However, Big Mom, with her red eyes, directly used her physical body to resist the full blow of Sengoku's double devil fruit ability. The ant with the title of Steel Balloon was still traumatized after resisting it, but the ant let out a low laugh. Ha ha ha, Mon. She wiped off the bloodline at the corner of her mouth, then took out a handful of fairy beans from her bosom, and swallowed it no matter how much it was. Although it is not as overbearing as the effect of Shondo, Ant's body is still healing, and the injury caused by the double devil fruit ability that just fought at full strength in a few seconds is instantly healed. This made Sengoku's pupils shrink suddenly. This. Fairy beans. How come there are so many? Sengoku couldn't believe it. He was sure that there was nothing wrong with Sengoku, but how could Big Mom have so many Sengoku? Judge's voice sounded. Ha 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 ha. He laughed, and also took out a large number of small fairy beans to restore his physical strength and injuries. Sengoku shocked. This is the power of technology. Anyway, I was also Vegapunk's assistant before, and technology is still at the forefront of this world. Sengoku's heart suddenly sank to the bottom. Miscalculation. Unexpectedly, the owner of Vince Moke actually helped the ant to re-engrave the magical item. Auntie and Judge regained their physical strength, and it was difficult for him to get rid of them now, so he went to rescue Monk. All over the battlefield, Admiral, Garp, he and other marine generals wanted to break out of the encirclement one after another, attacking frantically regardless of consumption. Advertisement. He even used fairy beans to restore his physical strength. But the Shuangwangtuan who blocked them also took Xiaoshondo, but it didn't work, so they added up the quantity. Although it is not as perfect as Shondo recovered, and it is still a little short of the peak state, but it is enough. Zephyr and Momosugi are even more crazy. Especially Momosugi, the one who stopped her was the last of the 4 generals. She almost ignored the opponent's attack in order to break through. But Momosugi didn't stop to take the beans, desperately trying to go and protect Monk. But it's too late. It wasn't the marine general, the marine soldiers couldn't stop Jack at all, and he rushed in front of Monk unstoppably. The huge body stood behind Monk, looking at Monk who was still fishing. Jack let out a low laugh. Monk, do you want to submit obediently, or do you want me to break all your limbs and take you away by force? Jack doesn't mind Monk's limb plan at all. Anyway, there are fairy beans, as long as the limbs are not cut off, the beans can heal. Hee hee. What Jack didn't expect was that Monk laughed lightly, looking quite relaxed. This made Jack frown, and there was displeasure between his brows. What are you laughing at? Do you think I'm joking? Marine's full combat power is now restrained, no one can save you. Monk was still sitting on the armchair, holding a fishing rod and watching the sea quietly, as if waiting for the fish to take the bait, completely different from the surrounding battle. Jack, do you think why I don't run? Monk said without turning his head. Jack frowned again. That's because I'm not afraid of you at all, Jack. If it were Kaido, I would definitely leave here. Do you think that as the owner of all mystical items, I would have no means to leave? Monk. Jack's eyes suddenly burst into anger. Then Jack laughed angrily. He gritted his teeth and squeezed out words. If you only have one hand left, you can still fish, right? Jack's eyes were full of fierce light. He planned to cut off Monk's limbs directly, leaving only one arm. When you cry out in pain, it must be pleasant. A pair of scimitars appeared in Jack's hands, and then he raised them high and swiftly slashed towards Monk. Monk still didn't move, the corners of his mouth were drawn, and he said softly, I've been waiting for this, moment, you know, Jack. Sengoku, San Admiral, Garp, Crane, these generals were all crazy 4.7 cursing Mengshu furiously. Are you still thinking about pretend at this time? My life is almost gone, what can I pretend? Nima, you could have left earlier, but you didn't. Kaido, Big Mom, all the double emperors showed the joy of victory. In their view, Monk is already in their pocket. Everyone doesn't mind Jack's behavior, as long as Monk doesn't die. However, at this moment, a terrifying aura erupted. The breath swept through the audience, causing Jack's movements to freeze suddenly. He looked at the monk sitting in front of him with his back turned to him with disbelief on his face. This aura is Conqueror's Haki. The most important thing is that it is so strong. A drop of cold sweat broke out on Jack's forehead. The Conqueror's Haki continued to sweep, causing everyone in the double emperors to feel consternation. And some people who were not too strong rolled their eyes one after another and fainted directly. The original team of 50,000 people, even after the battle, there are still more than 40,000 people left, and half of these people lie down. The battlefield was silent for a while, except for the continuous plop 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 sound to the end. Above the sky, Kaido was shocked, and the ant below was equally astonished. This kid is actually so strong in Conqueror's Haki. However, before everyone was amazed by Monk's Conqueror's Haki, Monk who was originally sitting got up instantly, and he had already transformed into a half-beast form. Kaido was completely stunned. I saw Monk spinning sideways in the air, and the punch wrapped around Conqueror's Haki bombarded Jack who was still in shock. Boom. Just like that, Jack's huge body was bombarded by Monk's punch, making a huge hole in the ground. Advertisement. Chapter 80 Drought. Nima, eat fairy beans as candy, how do you fight this? Advertisement. The audience was silent, and the silence was not at all like a battlefield of a great war. Kaido and Akainu on the sky looked at the scene below in shock. This kid. Kaido was particularly shocked. His pupils had shrunk into a slit, even if he turned into a dragon. Kakuzu's mouth twitched slightly. Below, Katakuri, Jin, Quinn, Smoothie and other Shuangwang cadres all looked dull, with disbelief in their pupils. Are you kidding me? Mom exclaimed. The Emperor of the Sea couldn't calm down anymore. All the members of the Double Emperor Corps petrified on the spot, including the generals and soldiers on Marine's side. Moke, when are you kid? Sengoku looked at his nephew in the distance, and he didn't even feel like he knew his nephew. Aokiji gasped, and Kizaru's mouth turned into an, oh, shape. Yo. It's really amazing. Momosuge turns worry to joy. Monk. At this moment, there is light in the monk in the beautiful eyes of this beauty. Sure enough, this guy's strength surpassed his own. Even though I had a little awareness of Monk's combat power the night before, after all, I didn't fight against him, and my impression of Monk was that he was bad and was protected by people. So the subconscious idea is to protect Monk, and now Monk has shown his strength. Very strong strength. Ha 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 ha. Zephyr also laughed happily. Monk, you really scared me to death. Too strong. At the same time, Zephyr was still surprised that Monk had the same fruit as Kaido. On the side of Monk behind Marine, under the watchful eyes of the audience, Monk knocked Jack down with a punch spinning in midair. Jack never imagined that Monk is actually powerful. And this kid, Master Kaido. Jack's face was distorted, and his whole body was crushed by a huge force, and he fell to the ground. His huge body tore the ground into cracks, rubble splashed everywhere, and the whole ground was overwhelmed and sunken. Orc Monk 29 appears. Monk's punch directly bounced Jack to the ground, and Jack spit out saliva. Devil Fruit, which is not an intermediate output, has its own proficiency, and Monk itself is extremely powerful Conqueror's Haki. Even if he didn't practice, just relying on the continuous improvement of the universal point, he also mastered the method of winding and using it. This punch firmly hit Jack. Even though Jack had the ability of an ancient devil fruit and his physical fitness was extremely strong, he was still traumatized. After Monk punched, he didn't stop, and took out a sword hilt from his pocket, lightning ball. Although Jack said that he encountered Monk's punch without any expectations, but anyway, his physical fitness is there, coupled with his very experienced combat experience, so he made a counterattack posture in the next second. However, Jack's expression changed drastically when he saw the hilt of the sword that Monk took out. Lightning Pill. Nima. This brat also has this thing. After being slashed by Garp before, he could have a deep shadow on the lightning pill, and Garp's blow made him unable to recover for several days. Jack wanted to adjust his posture in an instant so that he could escape, but he found that it was too late. The speed of Monk in front of him was even faster. Even if he turned around and fled, his back would be exposed to this kid, and the situation would be even worse. At the moment of lightning and flint, Jack chose the best way, which is to use the beast form. In the beast form, the defense is the strongest, and he is still a mammoth, born with thick skin and flesh. What's more, in Jack's view, although Dianguang can bring advanced sword skills, but in front of him is just a kid, it is impossible to have Garp's strength. Even if he resists hard, it is not a big deal. The reason why Garp was able to become the world's #1 swordsman with the lightning pill is because of his own physical skills. Otherwise, no matter how powerful the sword technique is, it is impossible to be so terrifying destructive power. Jack immediately transforms into a mammoth and at the same time arms himself with armament Haki. At the same time, Monk also injected physical strength, the knife in his hand burst into golden light, and the blade appeared. Drink. Splitting void hyphenation .1 cut. Monk yelled, calling out the name he had been thinking about for a long time. One knife. As long as one knife is required in his guidelines, this is not only domineering, but also very simple. Don't need any fancy moves, cut everything with one knife. This is the fight Monk wants. The Dianguang fell in Monk's hand, and combined with Hawkeye's knife technique, Monk's Hawkeye's knife technique has reached the intermediate level, and he can show his strength even stronger. Combined with the Dianguang's advanced knife technique, and advanced Conqueror's Haki, even advanced also added a lot of universal points. This knife made the Black Thunder howl, and this knife scared everyone present, including Jack in front of him. How about you? This power. Jack, who turned into a mammoth, was terrified, and the power of the knife that broke out was also extremely terrifying. Advertisement. A slash hit Jack's huge body, causing blood to splash from the huge mammoth. The knife wrapped around Conqueror's Haki easily pierced Jack's body, causing Jack to scream in pain. Jack's huge body stepped back again and again, stomping on the ground. Monk. At this moment, Jack was looking at Monk furiously, his eyes were red and filled with hatred. Who is he? He is one of the 3 big signs of the beast's pirates, but it is the drought that makes all the pirates in this sea fearful, Jack. The furious Jack turned into a half-beast form, and the 2 machetes in his hands appeared again. Lousy is going to kill you. At this moment, Jack lost his mind a little bit. Monk cursed secretly, it's really meat. The lightning pill in his hand was retracted, and then he slashed out again. Jack had already reacted, resisting Monk's blow with all his strength, and the soles of his feet slid for more than 10 meters before stopping. Although it was a bit reluctance, but he still resisted, even though the corners of his mouth were bright, Jack still laughed lowly. Monk, your knife has much lower attack power than before. Is this too much physical exertion? Ha 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 ha. Jack sees the hope of winning. On Monk's side, his expression didn't change. Although he said that he took many physical strength pills, his body was just an ordinary person, so after taking so many physical strength pills, his physical strength is still not top-notch. After swinging the knife with all his strength just now, his physical strength was naturally consumed a lot. But who is Monk? Lousy is a bad guy. Monk took out the celestial beans directly and took it, and his physical experience reached its peak in an instant. He grinned grimly at Monk, then swung his saber again, and slashed with all his strength. Jack's complexion changed drastically. Jack's face changed drastically, and it was another extremely powerful knife. He swung his scimitars to resist again, but this time it was not so easy, and many scars were drawn on his body. Fortunately, although the next few cuts were overbearing and sharp, they were not as terrifying as the first cut. Damn it! Jack gritted his teeth, taking the opportunity he wanted to charge again. He vowed to torture this guy after he caught Monk. But Jack soon saw it, and Monk took out the fairy beans again and yelled again, splitting void hyphenation point one knife cut. Damn, Jack is numb, you have too many jellybeans, right? On the marine side, the corners of Sengoku's mouth twitched. How many magical items does this kid hide? How can he not know? No, where did this kid get his money? On Monk's side, he didn't pay attention to these, and continued to slash with the lightning pill. In fact, he was a little depressed. That is, in this pirate world, if the battle between the strong is not crushed, it is difficult to end the battle in an instant. His strength has been promoted to the first person under admiral, but facing the three disasters Jack, he still can't kill him instantly. It can only be consumed slowly. However, for Monk at present, his physical strength is his biggest shortcoming. Fortunately, he has Shondo. Jack is constantly looking for opportunities for Monk's physical exertion, but after a dozen or so beans, Sleepy Beans is hopeless. How does this kid fight with his knives at full strength? Nima, it's outrageous. And what about himself? Under the constant consumption of Monk, his body suffered more and more injuries, and his physical strength was also severely exhausted. In the end, after Monk didn't know how many knives, one of Jack's arms was severed, and the blood shot out, accompanied by the severed arm of the scimitar that he was still holding, fell to the ground. Jack screamed in pain, and at the same time the severed arm brought about the next chain reaction. Countless knives fell on his body, and just like this, one of the three disasters, he fell to his knees on the ground, with one arm hanging down, and his head hanging down recklessly. Jack's whole body has turned red. Monk defeated Jack. He looked at Jack who was kneeling on the ground, let out a breath slowly, and the corners of his mouth couldn't help but draw. All around, the battle at this time seemed to have stopped, and everyone watched all this silently. Jack actually lost. Jin, the big brother, murmured. Advertisement. The real person can't think of. Yin also didn't think that Jack would fail. The most unexpected thing is that this guy Monk actually has the devil fruit ability of Big Brother Kaido. For the soldiers of the double emperors, Jack's defeat by Monk was definitely a morale blow. On Monk's side, under everyone's gaze, he actually took out another celestial bean, swallowed it for himself, and then sneered, "It seems that I still need to work hard to achieve my dream." What is his dream? That is to use Conqueror's Haki directly to shock the audience, without Monk doing it himself. However, thinking that there is still a long way to go to achieve such a level of Conqueror's Haki, Monk doesn't mind. Anyway, he has all-around experience points, so take your time. Monk didn't think about it anymore, stopped injecting physical strength into Dianguang, and then made a gesture of retracting the knife, and put away the hilt of Dianguang. This scene made Momosuke curl her lips and whispered to herself, "Is this kid too flirtatious? Is it really a show bag? After the Dianguang pill is not injected with physical strength, it is just a sword hilt, and still needs to receive actions. Just to be cool." Although there are many complaints about Monk, such as the extravagant consumption of a fairy bean just after the battle is over. But the corners of Momosuke's mouth were still drawn, and he was happy for Monk from the bottom of his heart. This guy is going to be Marine's contemporary wonder, contemporary hero. The previous generation was Garp, and this generation is probably Monk. Now everyone will get to know Monk again, Monk with great strength. At the end of the battle, many people slowly came to their senses, and the next second there was a commotion. Ha ha ha, Sengoku's nephew won. Drought 827 Disaster Jack. Amazing. Ha ha ha. The most unexpected thing is that Monk has double demon fruit power, fishing fruit and Kaido's blue dragon fruit. Blue dragon fruit. That's fish fruit, right? Haha. Don't worry about the details, just know that Monk is awesome. Monk is still so young, I remember he was less than 20 years old, right? Who knows, I don't know the specific situation, in short, I am very young. With such strength at such a young age, there will be a super strong man in our marine in the future. That's right, coupled with the magical item that Monk fishes, he can lead our marine to a whole new era. Ha 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 ha, forget about giving him the position of Marine Marshal now. The Marine soldiers kept shouting, jumping for joy, cheering for Monk, happy for Marine to have this character. Morale is definitely at its peak. On Sengoku's side, he heard the shouts of the soldiers around him, which made him curse secretly, change the marshal. Lousy's orthodoxy is still here, isn't it too embarrassing for me, an old guy? Monk is a newborn calf. Although there are many dissatisfaction with Monk in my heart, Monk has many criticisms, but this uncle finally laughed out loud. Laugh out loud from the bottom of my heart. Monk, his pride. Garp laughed loudly, my god grandson is really amazing. Ha ha ha, I really have a face for my grandpa Wong. Sengoku almost killed Garp with the double devil fruit ability, but now that the double emperor is still there, let it go. Everyone in the double royal group had complex expressions. Among the crowd, the ant was depressed. She thought she was going to succeed, but she didn't expect to end up with this ending. I always thought that the boy Monk had no strength, but now his strength has reached the level of the emperor's deputy. Although it is said that he used many celestial beans to defeat Jack, auxiliary items are also a kind of strength. Just like a weapon, the strong will be even stronger with a famous sword. Above the sky, Kaido's face is full of complexity. Yu fruit green dragon form. From now on, this world will no longer be his one dragon, but two dragons. Quote. Below, Monk looked at Kaido, and laughed, what? You called me, Kaido. After taking Shashiondo, he once again recovered to his full strength, without any injuries on his body. Kaido looked at Monk who was staring at him and couldn't help laughing. Boy, looking at you, I suddenly thought of someone. You really look like him. Go. Advertisement. Chapter 81 Shuangwang for Ruin. Fishing is okay, we point the props to score points. Advertisement. Stop talking about those bastards. Monk said decisively. This made Kaido stunned for a moment, and then narrowed his eyes. Little devil, don't think that you are amazing just because you defeated Jack. Although your strength is beyond expectations, to me, that's all. What Kaido said is indeed the truth, not to mention Kaido, now that Monk is facing the second-in-command Jin of Beasts, he probably will not be so relaxed. Monk's strength is good, but it is far from reaching the top level. Hey, Monk chuckled. In fact, what Kaido said is correct, and Monk also understands that he has no way to compare with the top powerhouses. But he doesn't care about these at all, and those who are not strong will not affect his enjoyment of life. But Monk still raised his hand, and a halo suddenly appeared on his fist. Kaido's face suddenly changed, and he was shocked to the extreme. This is. Down below, the ant was also shocked. Could it be that? Her voice became sharper, and it was so shocking that it broke a bit. Sengoku looked at his nephew, and seriously doubted whether this was his nephew. He is too familiar. He has it himself. Even if he doesn't, Sengoku is also familiar with it, because this has the ability to destroy the world, the unique halo of shock fruit power. The three Admiral, Garp, Crane and the other marine generals were equally astonished. This time, even Zephyr and Momosuke were astonished to ultimate. Monk actually, has 3 devil fruits. This is something no one expected. Monk is sitting on 3 devil fruits. The fist halo appeared, and then he punched the sky. Boom. There was a roar, and cracks appeared in the air immediately. The fact is before our eyes, it is indeed the ability of shock fruit. Hee. Monk chuckled again. What about now? Kaido. The reason why he wants to use the shock fruit ability is to let everyone raise his status in their hearts again. Only in this way, Kaido will feel that Monk is qualified to negotiate with him, and will accept his next words. Ooh. Interesting. Above the sky, Kaido's huge body is winding and circling, and the eyes flicker to ultimate. Monk's magical item is even more heaven-defying than he imagined. It turned out to be able to give a person 3 devil fruit abilities. Monk, now that you have shown me your strength, what do you want to say to me? Kaido naturally understood that Monk wanted to negotiate with him before showing his whole cards. It's simple. Truce. Lend us your port. Impossible. Kaido refused again, snapping. Hee. We marine don't need to pursue the magical item you snatched just now. Just treat it as a condition of leasing your Onishima port. At the same time, I will return Jack to you, he is not dead yet. Kaido, don't you think that you can save Jack? Kaido's eyes dimmed. Such a waste, don't mind. Okay, then continue to fight. I will give all the intermediate Shondo and junior Shenjong to our marine generals. You guys also saw the reserves of my fairy beans just now, didn't you? Continue to fight, the victory will only be our marine. At this moment, Kaido couldn't help but froze. The ant below gritted her teeth and shouted loudly, Kaido, the middle-level fairy beans can revive people. Once there are enough marines, we can't win. Once marine can be revived, everyone will do their best, and in the end it will be the Shuangwang who will die. Kaido was silent, without the previous determination. Advertisement. The corner of Monk's mouth secretly draws the outline. In fact, his storage capacity of intermediate immortal beans is not so much, and the storage capacity of elementary immortal beans is a bit more, but it has also consumed a lot just now. This is also the reason why Monk just kept consuming, and also used Dianguang pills crazily. The main purpose is to make Shuangwang feel that he has enough celestial beans, which can be used as jelly beans, and they don't feel bad at all. Then the Shuangwang will hesitate. A moment later, above the sky, Kaido said with a haze. There are some more conditions. In addition to the magical items we snatched, we also need to choose magical items, and restore Jack's broken arm with fairy beans. Below, before Kaido could finish speaking, Monk directly planned to say, Uncle, Vice Admiral Garp, the 3 admirals, all of you come here to get the intermediate fairy beans. Damn it. Today, our marine will destroy this ghost island. Akainu was the most excited. Ha. He seldom laughed out loud. Monk, well said. Kaido has provoked our marine so many times, I've wanted to do it for a long time. As he said that, he was really going to come to receive the intermediate fairy beans. The monk below continued. The only additional condition can only be one, and that is to restore Jack's broken arm. Above the sky, Kaido gritted his teeth, his face full of reluctance. But looking at the marine generals are really going to Monk to get the beans. Stop. How to stop? In the end Kaido had to compromise and said, yes. Then follow what you said, you marine will not pursue the magical item you robbed, and at the same time restore Jack's severed arm. And when you marines are fishing, we have to watch from the sidelines. Of course, our double emperor group will only keep the main personnel, and the rest will retreat. It is rare that Kaido took the initiative to retreat. This is enough to show that Monk's deterrence worked just now. Now that Kaido has regressed, Monk is no longer aggressive, and the most important thing is that he really doesn't have too many primary and intermediate celestial beings. If no agreement is reached, it will be exposed. Monk asked Kaido and Big Mom to withdraw first before recovering Jack's injuries. Now that an agreement has been reached, Kaido does not hesitate. Let all your troops evacuate, leaving behind a few high-level. Soon, only Kaido, Anti and a group of cadres were left on the scene, that is, double disasters, because Jack has not recovered yet, the 4 generals in his party, and finally Vince Mokei's family. However, Monk requires that Vince Mokei's family can only have one person here. As for who it is, he doesn't care, there can only be one person anyway. Vince Mokei's family originally disagreed. After all, why can the Double Emperor group keep so many people, and there are only 5 of them, Vince Mokei, and they can only ask one person to stay? This is completely bullying. Judge questioned Monk, and Monk's answer was also very rude, no reason, just playing, just trying to bully you. This straightforward answer made Vince Mokei unable to deal with it. Even Kaido, Big Mom, and the cadres of the Double Royals all looked at each other in blank dismay. This answer is too direct, isn't it? Is it really bullying, bad fun? Judge's face was livid. Monk. However, Monk ignored him and looked at Kaido and Big Mom. Hurry up, don't waste time, just let Vince Mokei's family keep one, and leave all the others. Kaido's eyes narrowed slightly, a little unkind, he understood what Monk meant, he wanted to stand up. But the most important thing is to see if their double emperors will make a move. Because if I really have no plans to make another move on my side, then I will definitely not pay attention to how many members of the Vince Mokei family stayed on the scene, after all, they are not members of the 100 Beasts. I have to say, this kid is really scary. If Marine is controlled in the future, I am afraid that it will surpass the existence of the resourceful general, Sengoku. After pondering for a while, although Kaido was upset, he decided to leave only one member of the Vince Mokei family after thinking about it. After all, Kaido didn't want to start another war for the other party. Once Monk gives Marine generals too many celestial beings and mid-level celestial beings, Marine will only win in the end. I have to say that Monk played the hand just now very successfully. In the end, under the appearance of Kaido and Dama, the head of Vince Mokei's family, Judge had to let his sons and daughters leave, but he stayed. Judge wants to see what magical item Monk will fish this time. He comforted himself, just in time for his sons and daughters to sort out the magical items they took from Marine this time. Advertisement. After the end, you can immediately start researching magical items with relatively high value. Like any door, after Marine's deployment and troop demonstration this time, the strategic significance of any door has been vividly reflected. As long as there are enough doors, no matter where you go, there will be an army behind you. Think about how terrifying it is. There is also the universal capsule. Although the arbitrary door is terrible, it is the universal capsule that allows the Marine army to dominate. The instant support of more than a dozen artillery pieces made Kaido's home stadium, Ghost Island, become Marine's home stadium. Beasts. The more he thought about it, the more Judge felt throbbing, because he found that it seemed that Monk's magical items were useless. Soon, Judge was the only Vince Mokei family member left on the scene, and the rest left. Kaido said in a low voice, "Okay, Monk. We have done everything you asked for." Monk sneered and wanted to say something, but was interrupted by Kaido, his voice became bad. "If you still change your mind, then I can't suppress my anger, even if we will lose in the end, I will fight at all costs." Kaido said decisively this time, he will never be played by Monk like this. The ant on the side also took a step forward. "That's right. Monk, so is my old lady. Just now Monk has already used Vince Mokei's family to make a show of power, and now their 2 emperors have to make a show of power again, otherwise they really lose face." On Marine's side, Akainu stood up, domineering, and he snorted coldly. He said sharply, "Do you really think that our Marines dare not? Monk, you give me the fairy beans, and I can kill Kaido by myself." Akainu. Kaido's pent-up anger exploded. Seeing that the battle broke out again, Monk quickly came out to be a peacemaker. "If you don't do it, you can't do it, you idiot Akainu, do you know that I'm pretending to be a tiger? If there were really so many fairy beans, would I not fight?" Monk coughed dryly. "That's all. We Marines are not people who keep our promises. Now that an agreement has been reached, it will not be broken again." As Monk said, he stepped forward, and behind him Momosuke and Zephyr followed closely. He came to Jack's side, and took out the fairy beans again on the surface calmly, but in fact he felt distressed. "Alas, my stock is running low. Use up one as one less. But in order to continue pretending to be forced, I had to restore Jack." Jack took the jelly beans, and everyone was amazed at the beast's pirates. In his eyes, Jack's almost dying injury healed instantly, and at the same time his broken arm was recovering quickly. In seconds, Jack is back to full power. Of Lee's. Kaido, Jin, Quinn and other members of the beast's pirates were all in shock. This is more terrifying than the effect of the little fairy bean. Quinn's forehead was sweating. The broken arm recovers instantly, and the injury recovers instantly. How can Xiaoshondo have such an effect? Genuine is really genuine, it's different. Kaido's eyes are dark, although he is unwilling to admit his pride, but he really has to admit that his own strongest biological physique is a fart in front of Shondo. Although Monk used the fairy beans just now, Monk suppressed Jack all the way to fight. The most important thing is to recover his physical strength, so it is not as shocking as Jack healed from the serious injury now. After Jack recovered, he raised his eyes and saw Monk's smiling face, and immediately burst out, "Monk." But for a moment, Jack only felt the hairs all over his body stand on end, and the thought of death enveloped him, making him dare not move a bit. Jack took a closer look, Momoshiki, Garp, and Zephyr, each with a knife on his neck. At the same time, behind him, all the generals of Marine burst out with a strong killing intent. Jack was sure that if he dared to move again, he would die instantly. The former, Black Arm, Iron Fist, now use knives, it's really ironic. Kaido's deep voice sounded. It can be regarded as contemptuous of Garp and Zephyr for using Dianguang, no longer relying on their own strength. Zephyr's lightning pill was given to him by Monk just now. Although he has recovered from his broken arm, his age still casts a certain impression on him. His combat power is not as sharp as before, so we say. Just now, during the negotiation process, Monk gave the lightning pill to Long Fei. Dianguang's profound sword technique, coupled with Zephyr's background, is the birth of the world's #1 swordsman. Advertisement. Chapter 82 A new round of fishing, super random devil fruit ability. Advertisement. At the moment when Jack exploded, Momoshiki, Zephyr and Garp made a move, and at the same time, all of Marine's killing intent locked on Jack, making Jack dare not move at all. Kaido took the opportunity to taunt Zephyr and Garp. Zephyr snorted coldly, while Garp didn't care, and said while holding the lightning pill, "Old man, I've been using my fist for a lifetime, and I'm tired of it." Switch to Daoshuhua, do you have any objections, Kaido? Kaido snorted coldly, and stopped talking to Garp. As someone who has experienced the old times together, he understands that Garp is powerful in physical skills, even more powerful in his mouth, and thick-skinned. I was too lazy to talk nonsense with him, and said, "Jack, come back, no." Jack was very surprised when he heard the words, so he stopped fighting. Master Kaido doesn't want to fight anymore. Although he was surprised, Kaido said that anyway, so he just obeyed. Putting down the knife in their hands, Marine, Garp and others also put down their knives, watching Jack silently return to the side of the double emperors. Okay. Monk clapped his hands. Then lend us your marine port now, and from now on we won't mess with the river. After speaking, Monk walked slowly to the port, ready to continue fishing. On the marine side, the generals are guarding Monk's side. Because of the battle just now, Monk can only bring out fishing equipment, a comfortable easy chair, and other things. Momoshiki was very active this time, and ran to Monk's side directly. "Monk, come and let me pour you a drink." The moment Jack approached Monk just now, Momoshiki's heart fell to the bottom. Hesitation, fear, the future seemed to have no light, which opened the heart of this heroine. Among the generals, the T-Dolphin's heart is bleeding. When have you ever seen such a Momoshiki? This time Sengoku didn't scold Monk, but looked at Jack in a daze, his eyes flickering under the glasses, he didn't know what he was thinking. At this time, Crane came over and said with a smile, "What? Does it feel complicated?" Sengoku came back to his senses and asked, "Grandma Crane." He chuckled lightly, shook his head and said with a wry smile, "A bit." Ha ha. Crane also laughed out loud. "Looking at my younger generation so amazingly beautiful, it seems that I don't need my protection anymore, it's normal to be complicated. I don't know whether to be happy, or disappointed 010, or feeling emotional, but people have to grow up after all, Sengoku." "I know that." Sengoku laughed. Of course he knows, of course he understands that people need to grow up. But what is complicated for him is, Monk grows up too fast, right? When did he become so powerful? Defeat Jack, that's 3 disasters, and when did this guy awaken Conqueror's Haki? And when did this guy have Shock Fruit and Yu Fruit Blue Dragon form? And when did this guy have such courage, face the 4 emperors, and negotiate with the 2 things? 2 beasts. That is the double emperor, the strongest existence in the second half of New World. If it were me, at Monk's age, I'd be shitting against the Shuangwang. Sengoku smiled wryly in his heart, with mixed feelings. Back then, half a month ago, Monk was still a little boy who was fishing secretly in Naval Headquarters Yuan, afraid of being discovered by himself. Now, he is not at all afraid to face the Shuangwang directly. In a daze, Sengoku felt as if more than 10 years had passed. I seem to be old. Although it was a bit pathetic, Sengoku smiled. Monk has become a strong player in his own right. As his uncle, his relatives, naturally feel relieved for him. And at this time, Garp did not know when he appeared in front of Sengoku, and said with a smile, "Old. Then let your nephew catch the rope of the source of age, this time, to make you young." Sengoku looked at the heartless Garp, and felt disappointed. The sensational atmosphere just now disappeared immediately. He said coldly, "In the future, if you dare to say that my nephew is your god-grandson, I will shoot you to death." Garp picked his nostrils and walked towards Monk with an unrecognizable pace. As for Sengoku's words, he pretended not to hear them at all. Sengoku behind him was gnashing his teeth angrily, he really wanted to shoot Garp to death. Port. Advertisement. After drinking the drink Momoshiki handed over, Monk burped, rolled up his sleeves, and started fishing immediately. Open and open. This time Sengoku gave Monk a total of 6 billion Baileys. 5 billion Baileys came from the world government, and 1 billion Baileys were abruptly squeezed out of marine finance in the meeting last night. To be honest, Sengoku was very hesitant at first, because this time he came to Onigashima, he predicted that there would be a big war, and Marine's funds were very tight, and it was almost on the verge of bankruptcy. But after discussion, Sengoku approved the squeeze out of 1 billion Baileys. Of course, Monk doesn't know anything about these things, he just takes money to do things and prostitutes. A total of 6 billion Baileys, 2 times of super fishing, that is, 4 billion Baileys are used, and the remaining 2 billion Baileys are 4 times of super fishing for Monk. The remaining 2 billion Baileys, of which 1.6 billion Baileys are used for 8 advanced fishing. As for the 2000 W Bailey 1 time of intermediate fishing, Marine intends to use up 500 million Baileys out of the remaining 600 million Baileys, which means 25 times of intermediate fishing. The final 100 million Baileys were all spent on primary fishing, a total of 50 times. For beginners, there are junior fairy beans, primary universal capsules, memory bread, and so on can be supplemented. As for intermediate level fishing, what is needed is intermediate level fairy beans, and there are other special magical items that can be obtained. For example, intermediate super holy water, original rope of age, etc. Although they are not as powerful as advanced ones, the price difference between intermediate and advanced ones is 10 times, so it is good to smoke a little more. Of course, this time the highlight is still on the special class. This is a brand new level, what can you fish for? Everyone present was extremely curious and looking forward to it. Monk has hooked the super bait. Although his fishing limit has reached 10 baits at a time, he is still looking forward to the new super bait. Therefore, 2 fishing at a time is the best choice. No longer thinking about it, Monk threw the pole directly, and the marine generals immediately snorted, waiting for the magical item that Monk's super class fish caught. Far away, after seeing Monk throwing the fishing rod, the double emperors who had retreated to the distance were also silent and waited and watched quietly. Quinn, a scientist, saw Monk fishing for the first time, and couldn't help complaining. I didn't expect that those heaven-defying magical items were actually obtained by this. When these words came out, everyone present was silent. Seriously, it really feels outrageous. The double emperors present were silent, and the magical items were obtained through fishing, which indeed seemed a bit outrageous. Naturally, Monk would not pay attention to these things. Under all the gazes, he fished in silence. After more than 10 minutes, the super fishing still hadn't caught anything, which made Monk start to feel a little lazy. He found a rule, that is, every time a new fishing level is unlocked, it takes a long time to fish for the first time. After a while, Monk's fishing rod finally fluctuated, and then the sound of the system sounded in his mind. Congratulations on getting Universal Experience Point Lucky Bag. Congratulations on getting Superior Random Devil Fruit. Monk's whole body suddenly became tense, the Universal Experience Blessing Bag. And this thing? Monk hurriedly looked at the system, wanting to see what the Universal Experience Lucky Bag was for. Because the omnipotent experience is not considered as a prop in other worlds, so there is no need to improve it, even if it is the first lucky bag that appears, it does not need to be improved. Soon, Monk saw the introduction about the Universal Experience Lucky Bag. Universal Experience Lucky Bag. After opening, you can get 50 to 500 Universal Experience points. Seeing this description, Monk almost couldn't help laughing out loud. This is a good thing. Because no matter driving to the minimum of 50 Universal Experience points, it is also profitable for Monk. The Universal Experience points for primary fishing are 3 points, the Universal Experience points for intermediate fishing are 10 points, and the Universal Experience points for advanced fishing are 30 points. Now the special level gets the lucky bag, the minimum is 50 all-purpose experience points. It seems that it is not twice as high as the high-level fishing, but what if the luck is out of the table and you get 500 points? That's a difference of more than 10 times. What I want is this exciting feeling. Monk thinks Universal Experience Point Lucky Bag is very suitable for him. As for special grade random devil fruit ability, although it is said that the special grade will inevitably make the obtained devil fruit ability proficiency very high, but Monk is not too cold. Advertisement. Because the purpose of Monk is that if you don't do it, you will never do it. It was impossible to slash Jack just now. The Shuangwang has a lot of high-end combat power, and it is difficult for the generals of Marine to take care of Monk. Therefore, if Jack breaks through, Monk has to make a move. The current Monk Conqueror's Haki can't directly make Jack, the 3 calamities, stunned. It can deter Jack more because he was shocked by his sudden outbreak of Conqueror's Haki. I didn't expect that I would awaken the Conquerors and it would be so powerful. So taking advantage of the short pause caused by Jack's shock, Monk must make a move, and the move must be quick, precise and ruthless. Don't look at Monk's connection explosion just now, which made Jack have no strength to fight back. In fact, they were all simple and rude moves. Otherwise, there would be no way to do all that just now with Dianguang and Shandumang. Now once Monk can use this Universal Capsule Blessing Bag to get 500 Universal Experience points, Monk's Conqueror's Haki will usher in another epic upgrade. This made Monk couldn't help clamping the fishing rod between his legs, then rubbed his hands together, and then breathed out into the palms of his hands. Although it is a bit silly to say this, after all, it is actually useless. But it is equivalent to a sense of ritual, and it should be there. On the side, Momosuke and Garp were beside Monk, watching Monk doing this series of actions, they couldn't help being stunned. Monk, what are you doing? Didn't you catch something? Garp asked curiously. Momosuke is also curious, but now she is more concerned. Are you cold? Monk. The surrounding sea generals were also surprised. Monk didn't say much, just prevaricated, and then ignored what everyone thought. He began to prepare to open the Universal Experience Point lucky bag. Although it is said that even the lowest 50 points is profitable for Monk, but human nature naturally hopes to have a little more the better. So, Monk still felt a little uneasy for some reason. Open. Monk opened the lucky bag immediately with a thought, and the system voice in his head sounded in the next second. Congratulations to host for obtaining 450 Universal Experience Points. If it weren't for Monk's restraint, considering that there are Marine generals around him, he was too excited and needs to explain later, otherwise he would definitely jump up all over. 450 Universal Experience Points! Exclamation mark! Although it is said that there is no 500 Universal Experience Points, but approaching 500 points has made Monk so happy that he couldn't add more. Enough. This is enough. If 450 Universal Experience Points are added together with the upper level Motai, it will be multiplied by 3 times, 1350 Universal Experience Points, if this time the super fishing can get. If you go to Motai, you can double the Universal Experience Points. Although I don't know how many times the Super Motai can increase the Universal Experience Point, but it must be more than 1350 points. Monk was full of glory, and the smile on his face couldn't be closed at all. He was looking forward to tonight. To what extent can his Conqueror's Haki be improved? Concentrating his thoughts and not in a hurry, Monk closed the shot. With one hand, he instantly lifted the spirits of the marine generals around him, realizing that Monk had finally caught a magical item. Sengoku, he and others immediately surrounded him and asked in unison, "What did you catch?" 3 admirals, Akainu, Aokiji, Kizaru and others also really want to get up and see what Monk catches for the first time. However, Kaido, Big Mom and other double emperors were watching from the outside, and the 3 marines had to take good precautions against the representatives of their combat power. On the side of the double emperors, Kaido and Big Mom, they also saw Monk recycling the fishing rod. The ant immediately said, "It seems that the fish has already been caught, and I don't know what kind of magical item is going on this time." Kaido groaned without opening his mouth, watching silently. Under the watchful eyes of Marine and Shuangwang, Monk took out a devil fruit. When they saw this devil fruit for the first time, immediately the 10 marine generals recognized what it was: devil fruit. Random devil fruit. After all, this fruit had shocked them too much before, making Marshal Marine the strongest person in marine history. It's random devil fruit. Ha ha ha. Sengoku was overjoyed. Absolutely good stuff. Looking at the golden stripes on the top, you know it's stronger than the previous random devil fruit. Garp said with a chuckle. I don't know how fierce it will be. Ha 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 ha. Although random devil fruit can also be obtained from high-level fishing, the random devil fruit from super fishing is even more powerful. Therefore, the generals of Marine are still sincerely happy about the special fishing this time. And Marine was happy. The pirates of the Double Kings naturally looked ugly. Advertisement. Chapter 83 Grandpa is Grandpa. Garp unlocked. Renren fruit Nika form. Advertisement. On the side of Big Mom pirates, they have seen the magical item of this random devil fruit, so after seeing this random devil fruit, the faces of everyone in Big Mom pirates changed drastically. It's this thing again. Auntie's eyes shrank, her face was ugly and frightening. Katakuri, as well as the other retainers also had ugly faces, and sweat was already protruding from their foreheads. The Beast's pirates on the side also noticed that the faces of the Big Mom pirates were not right, and they all looked at Big Mom and the others. Kaido said in a deep voice, "Then devil fruit. Why have I never seen it?" As the Emperor of the Sea, Kaido has seen many devil fruits, but he has never seen this devil fruit. The ant pondered. This devil fruit is the devil fruit that allowed Sengoku to be the first person in Marine. Kaido's eyes froze for a moment, and he instantly understood the meaning of this sentence. In other words, this is a magical item that allows people to obtain the second devil fruit ability. Ant nodded heavily. It's not wrong, but it was obtained randomly. Get it randomly? Jin asked in surprise. That's right. After eating this random devil fruit, although it is said that you can get the second devil fruit ability, but this ability is unknown, it may be strong, or it may be weak. This time it was Katakuri who answered Jin's question. Immediately afterwards, he continued, but the most terrifying thing is to get the devil fruit that has already been taken by people in this world. We know this. Jin's face was stained with a trace of haze. That's right. Kaido also answered. Sengoku has the shock fruit ability, which we just saw. It seems that Monk can have so many devil fruit abilities, even brother Kaido, your abilities are obtained with this random devil fruit ability. Jack asked. Speaking unintentionally, the listener intends. Kaido, Big Mom, Katakuri, Yan and other, emotional quotient, online powerhouses suddenly looked even more ugly. Kaido, the strongest creature, couldn't help swallowing, feeling horrified. He looked at the distant port, at the marines, and at the random devil fruit that Sengoku took from Monk. That means this random devil fruit can also give a person a third devil fruit ability. Everyone gasped. They wanted to say it was impossible, but if it was impossible, Monk's 3 devil fruit abilities couldn't be explained at all. However, what the Shuangwang Tuan and others don't know is that, according to their cognition, Monk actually has 4 devil fruits, Brother Ming's string fruit, and Whitebeard's shock fruit. Kaido's Yu fruit blue dragon form, and the fishing fruit that people outside people mistakenly think. 1. If that's the case, Marine gave this random fruit to Sengoku again, wouldn't Sengoku? Judge said, looking at Shuangwang. What surprised him was that he actually saw fear in the eyes of the Shuangwang. That's right. Fear. Although there is only a hint of it, and it is fleeting, but it is there. And Kaido and Dama are the double emperors who are not afraid of heaven and earth, who can make the emperor of the sea feel scared, have not appeared until now, right? The double emperor is scared. But Judge thinks it's normal. 3 devil fruit abilities, can you not feel fear? The current Sengoku can suppress him and 4 emperors and alone. Once he has the ability of the 3rd devil fruit, what will happen? Directly suppress the double emperor fight. If this is the case, then Marine will sweep across the sea, and the sea chart will no longer exist. At this time, Judge heard Kaido's voice faintly. Once Marine is ready to give this devil fruit to Sengoku, we will do it no matter what. Kaido's voice was extremely low, but it did clearly express his determination that Sengoku must not be able to get the 3rd devil fruit ability. Yeah, the ant nodded. This old woman, who was a bit crazy on weekdays, became incomparably serious. Must stop Sengoku from getting the 3rd devil fruit. Although it is said to be random, but because Sengoku has 2 kinds of devil fruit abilities, he has already surpassed the existence of Roger. Even if the ability of the 3rd devil fruit is weaker, it still brings him an improvement. Besides, what if Sengoku gets the powerful devil fruit ability again? Xuanguang didn't want to gamble, and it would be best to kill everything in the cradle. Advertisement. The double emperors are waiting for Marine's choice. As long as it is for Sengoku, then their double emperors will show up at all costs. Port. Everyone in Marine was very excited about getting a random devil fruit. Crane said, Sengoku, if this random devil fruit is given to you again, then your strength will be raised to another level. That's right. Dao Mian echoed her sister. However, at this time, Monk smiled wryly and shook his head. Random devil fruit cannot give the ability to people who have already taken random devil fruit. He had imagined it before, but in fact there was no way to do it. Random devil fruit can only be given to people who already have devil fruit ability to randomly get the 2nd devil fruit ability, or people who don't have devil fruit can randomly get a devil fruit ability. It cannot be superimposed infinitely, otherwise random devil fruit would be invincible. Monk spoke out about this matter, saying that the random devil fruit could not continue to stack, which made Crane, Momosuke, Zephyr and others feel sorry. After all, if it is possible, this Marine will usher in a superpower, even surpassing the level of rocks back then. Sengoku himself didn't feel too disappointed. I've long guessed that the high probability cannot continue to be superimposed. That's good, we can continue to let Monk fish, otherwise there will be a group of people desperately in the distance. Sengoku understood that the Xuanguang couldn't let him get the 3rd devil fruit ability. Once he can really eat this random fruit, the big battle will start again. Give this random fruit to others. The 3 admirals all have sharp eyes, so they naturally hope to get the 2nd devil fruit ability. And at this time, Garp said, just give me this random devil fruit. This can't help but surprise veteran players like Sengoku, Zephyr and Crane. Garp is actually interested in devil fruit. Doesn't this guy dislike devil fruit abilities? Otherwise, according to Garp's status and influence in Marine, it is not difficult to get devil fruit's ability. Garp continued to laugh and explain. Garp suggested this random devil fruit ability to him, which made everyone very surprised. Doesn't he like the devil fruit ability? I feel that only my own strength is real, and everything else is just bells and whistles. Garp he explained. What I don't like is the devil fruit's curse, which means it turns into a landlubber. And the random devil fruit is not cursed. Since there is no curse, it will not become a landlubber. Why does Garp hate it? Who wouldn't want to have special powers without any side effects? In order to convince Marine's generals to get this random devil fruit, Garp continued to say that this random devil fruit would give him future benefits. If this random devil fruit is given to any of you, you will not be able to display the true value of this random devil fruit at all. Take Sengoku as an example. Although the random devil fruit ability is not cursed, your own devil fruit ability is cursed, which also leads to you still being a landlubber. The random devil fruit's advantage of not being cursed doesn't work at all. 1. Veterans like Sengoku, Crane, and Zephyr nodded their heads and became thoughtful. I have to say that what Garp said is very reasonable. Although the random devil fruit ability can give demon fruit power a random 2nd devil fruit ability, but in this way, the special without curse is equivalent to being invalid and cannot be reflected. But if it is given to people who do not have the devil fruit ability, then the specialness without curses can be reflected. Yo, Kizaru stroked his chin and looked at Monk. I don't know, Monk, if there are any magical items that can remove the curse of devil fruit among the magical items you fished for. Monk shrugged, who knows? He also wants to know how many Myriad Realms props are in his god-level fishing system, but unfortunately everything is unknown. It can only be dug slowly by fishing. The only thing that is certain is that fairy beans, universal capsules, memory bread, and arbitrary doors are relatively common Myriad Realms props, and the probability of catching them will be higher. As for what is the probability of the special Myriad Realms props, these monks don't know anything. Kizaru did not continue to say anything. After discussions with Marine's senior management, it was decided to give this random devil fruit to Garp. Firstly, what Garp said is correct, and only those who do not have the ability to be devil fruit can display the true value of devil fruit. Second, Garp has made great contributions to Marine, and he has been hailed as the first Marine hero in more than 800 years. Advertisement. So since Garp applied, give it to him. For the double royals, even though random devil fruit is given to Garp, it can still make Marine a more top-notch powerhouse. But this is not enough to make them start a war at all costs. The Shuangwangtuan also suppressed the eagerness of themselves and others. Patriarch Vince Moke, if you want Guy to study with you, I will provide the blood factor. Can you produce the same devil fruit as me? Kaido asked as if leaving Judge behind. Judge instantly understood what Kaido meant. He and Guy were both ex-MADS members and Vegapunk's assistants, and wanted to see if they could recreate Kaido's fish fruit. Seeing that the magical item allows Marine to get all kinds of powerful devil fruit, Kaido is going to find some ways to check and balance. It's a bit difficult, so far only Vegapunk can do it. Judge said in a deep voice. Although it is a failure for him, it has indeed been produced, and Guy and I. To be honest, we are really far behind Vegapunk. Kaido remained silent and did not continue to speak. It is difficult to snatch the random fruit, because Marine will use it after getting the random fruit, and there is no chance at all. The domineering eyes flickered. In short, continue to see what magical items are there. Port. Marine sighed. Garp looked at the random devil fruit in his hand, and couldn't help laughing. I never thought, old man, I will eat devil fruit one day. The appearance of this devil fruit is the same as that of the previous random devils, except that the texture of the special grade is golden. A little more high-end. Garp stopped talking nonsense, opened his mouth wide and immediately bit down. This bite directly bit off half of the devil fruit. The mouth was bulging, and while chewing, he said vaguely, it's really unpalatable. After swallowing with difficulty, Garp stuck out his tongue, with a bad expression on his face. I finally understand why you only eat a little bit of devil fruit. It's really unpalatable. I don't know how to describe the taste and texture. I don't know how to describe you anymore. Sengoku grumbled. They're all old guys, don't you know that devil fruit is unpalatable? Forget it, Sengoku said gloomily. Business matters. He asks, how does it feel? What is the devil fruit ability? Sengoku has eaten a random devil fruit, so he knows that after eating it, the ability of the devil fruit will automatically appear in his mind. Garp also captured the ability of devil fruit that appeared in his mind, and couldn't help being surprised. Never heard of. What is the form of the human fruit Nika? Personal fruit Nika form, Sengoku repeated in surprise. The other marine generals also showed doubts. Crane frowned and said, is there such a devil fruit ability? Yo, it doesn't seem to be included in Marine's collection. Kizaru recalled. However, this is also normal. There are so many devil fruits in the world, and monk's fishing fruits are not collected by our marine. Aokiji said lightly. Everyone nodded one after another, that is indeed the case. None of the marine generals knew about this devil fruit, but someone did. That is Monk. He was very shocked, he didn't expect that Garp got his grandson's devil fruit ability randomly. How could marine not be included? The so-called phantom beast human fruit Nika form is rubber fruit. As expected of grandparents, this tacit understanding is gone. Monk also didn't explain that the human fruit Garp got was actually Luffy's rubber fruit. Because the world government erased the news that rubber fruit is the sun god, Nika, and it took hundreds of years to make people think it was called rubber fruit. If Monk explains here and is known by the world government, there will be a lot of troubles. He just wants to be bad, and what he hates most is trouble. Question mark. While Monk was thinking about this, everyone in Marine hurriedly asked Garp to see what this devil fruit could do. Advertisement. Chapter 84 Garp swimming in the sea. New item. Weird cells. Advertisement. Because the world government has blocked the sun god, Nika, even a marine marshal like Sengoku doesn't know what kind of ability Nika fruit has. It has to be said that the world government has really worked hard to achieve this step, and then the truth of everything today will be made public. Garp's face became a little strange, he was taken aback for a moment, and then he was disbelieving and puzzled. This made Sengoku, he, Zephyr, San Admiral and others all puzzled. What happened to Garp? What's wrong, Garp? Sengoku asked with a frown. Is there something wrong with this devil fruit ability? Garp recovered from the strange expression, and then his next performance surprised Monk. Garp suddenly showed a smile, the same smile as usual, and said with a big laugh, it's nothing, I just think this devil fruit's ability is very suitable for my appetite. To the confusion of everyone in Marine, Garp used the Nika form. I saw that his original black and gray hair, which had been restored by the source rope of age, turned red. No, it turned into a flame, it should be said, and the flame burned above Garp's head. In the distance, the ant couldn't help but widen her eyes. This image is a bit like me. When Big Mom uses Prometheus, the sun fusion, her hair is also in this state. What the hell is this devil fruit ability? Kaido was surprised. Could it be the same devil fruit as Mom? Biscuit, Cracker exclaimed. However, soon, everyone denied this statement, because something like a cloud began to appear around Garp's body, surrounding Garp's 270. The people of the Double Royals looked at the devil fruit ability displayed by Garp, and they were all puzzled. Never seen devil fruit abilities like this. Marine, Sengoku, San Admiral and others were also shocked after seeing the form displayed by Garp. The devil fruit, which has been blocked by the world government for hundreds of years, reappears in the world again. Monk licked his lips and immediately awakened. It seems that superior random devil fruit can directly achieve the awakening state of the random devil fruit ability obtained by people. It's a bit sharp, it's worthy of being a special grade. Originally, Monk thought that there was a high probability of mastering a higher proficiency, but it turned out that he directly awakened the random devil fruit. After Sengoku got the shock fruit, it took a lot of time to master it. But it's normal to think about it, after all, he is a super class. At the same time, Monk's reaction to Garp was also very unexpected. Since he took a random devil fruit, information about all the abilities of the obtained devil fruit would appear in his mind, so Garp must recognize that this is Luffy's rubber fruit. And Garp obviously concealed this matter and wanted to protect Luffy. Garp showed Nika's form, and then he jumped up and ran in the air. The soles of his feet were like turbines. Immediately, the arms became bigger, the legs became bigger, and even the whole body became bigger. Ha 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 ha. Garp laughed happily as if he was having fun. The sky is like a grassland to Garp at this time, he can run freely. This scene left everyone below stunned. Sengoku's face became weird, it's really incomprehensible devil fruit. Yes, but it looks very powerful. Crane commented. It's really strange why such a powerful devil fruit is not included in the Curry of Marine's data. Everyone in Marine commented on Garp's devil fruit. On the side of the double emperors, Kaido, Anti and others also looked astonished. Isn't the ability of this devil fruit too weird? Above the sky, Garp seems to think that playing on the sky is meaningless. I saw him laughing, and then plunged straight down from the sky, and all the sea water below. Just like that, Garp entered the sea, and this operation directly confused all members of Beast's pirates. Jack was shocked, as Garp guy planning to commit suicide. Advertisement. He's not a murloc. Entering the sea with devil fruit ability means death. Quinn looked dull, and murmured, devil fruit's ability doesn't look normal, why is Garp also abnormal? Is this affected by this special devil fruit ability? Jin was relatively calm, and speculated, it is estimated that Garp was used to not having devil fruit ability before, so now he forgets that he has demon fruit power and is afraid of sea water. The leader Kaido laughed, no matter what the reason is, it's best to die like this. Well, that's the best thing for us. However, Kaido didn't even speak a word, and just stood there in a daze. Immediately afterwards, the pupils of Kaido, the strongest creature, widened suddenly, and even his mouth opened wide. What? The same is true for Jin, whose prudent persona collapsed in an instant, and he exclaimed along with Kaido, unexpectedly, he was swimming. Why, didn't Garp eat devil fruit just now, why can he swim in the sea? There were question marks all over Quinn's head. The cigars that were originally in his mouth fell to the ground in shock. Although the ability of this devil fruit is very nonsensical, it is a bit too much for swimming in the sea. Everyone is demon fruit power, why can you swim in the sea? Everyone in the Big Mom Pirates and Vince Mokay's family and others realized it later. That's right, I almost forgot, the random devil fruit caught by Monk is not cursed. Ant gritted her teeth and almost squeezed out the words between her teeth. Katakuri locked his eyebrows tightly, because Sengoku itself had devil fruit, it was a landlubber itself. After eating the ability of random devil fruit, it is still a landlubber, so it didn't show the special ability of random devil fruit without curse. Subconsciously forget. At this moment, Garp, who was swimming on the surface, suddenly grabbed the water. That's right, he grabbed the sea water and lifted it up like a huge stick, at least a few kilometers long. Finally, smash the sea water stick down heavily, set off monstrous waves. This move made everyone in the Double Emperor group feel their scalps go numb. Lift up the water. Jack swallowed. This ability, coupled with the advantage of not being a landlubber, can be called the nemesis of demon fruit power. Think about what would happen if Garp's seawater stick hit them. For most of the members of the Double Royals present, they all have the devil fruit ability, which means that most of them are landlubbers. What if Garp uses this trick to attack them? Once such a huge ocean water column fails to evade in time and is swept in by the sea water, the consequences will be unimaginable, and they will immediately return to fighting power. The Shuang Huang Tuan's face was ugly, and this time Marine produced another tricky demon fruit power. Phantom beasts still have the devil fruit ability. Kaido murmured. But it is useless to say too much now, because the facts are in front of us. On the Marine side, the Marine generals were amazed again and again, they didn't expect that the devil fruit's ability could grab sea water. Even the following Garp has various tricks, such as catching thunder and lightning above the sky. It can be said that this devil fruit is full of creativity and imagination. It seems that as long as the user wants to do it, there is nothing that cannot be done. Garp, who had had enough fun soon, returned to the crowd, and the crowd couldn't help but gather together curiously. After all, the Nika form of Renren fruit is a new understanding for the people present, and Garp just made a lot of outrageous operations, which naturally made the people present very interested in the devil fruit's ability. Looks like a very powerful devil fruit. Sengoku laughed. He was really happy about it. After all, Marine won 2 random devil fruits, and got a very powerful devil fruit ability, Sengoku's shock fruit, and now this brand new devil fruit from Garp. Of course, Garp kept his Nika form, grinning. For me, this is the most powerful devil fruit ability in the world, but it consumes a lot of stamina. Even a strong physique player like Garp feels exhausted after playing in Nika form for a while. That kid Luffy, seems like rubber fruit is hiding a big secret, Garp thought. After the test just now, Garp is quite sure that this human fruit is Luffy's rubber fruit. Advertisement. Why were you so disobedient and joined Marine? Garp wants to investigate the specific situation at that time and see why the world government changed the name of this human fruit to rubber fruit. Everyone didn't see what Garp was thinking in his heart, and they were all happy to get such a powerful fruitless fruit this time. Soon, Sengoku turned his head and let Monk continue fishing. Monk also nodded and prepared to continue fishing. To be honest, he was completely different from the expectations of everyone present. What he was thinking was what would happen if the 5 old guys in between the powers saw that there was an extra Nika form in the fruit of the fruit. Will it look ugly and scary? To be honest, Monk is inexplicably looking forward to seeing the reaction of the 5 elders after seeing Garp's Nika form. Will he erase Garp? Monk thinks the probability of this is very high, because the world government will pay all costs to erase anything that touches the truth of the 100-year blank. Even if it is Vegapunk who has contributed so much to the world government, it still doesn't give face at all, it just wants to be erased. Now that Garp got the Sun God, Nika, there is a high probability that he will be wiped out. Thinking of this, Monk pursed his lips lightly. After a long while, he said in his heart, forget it, it's none of his business, it's none of his monk's business if the world government wants to erase Garp after knowing the devil fruit Garp got. Anyway, as long as it doesn't bother him. Monk's principle is to avoid troubles, so he intends to ignore the subsequent developments. It's just that if the real Garp is erased, Monk thinks he will be very upset. Soon Monk restrained his thoughts, stopped thinking, continued to cast the hook, and continued to fish with the level. There are only 4 times for super fishing, and there are 2 left after the 2 times just now. Monk is still the same, 2 super class fishing at the same time, and everyone around him waits quietly to see what he can get this time. This time the super fishing star is said to be a little longer, and it is much shorter than the first super class. When the fishing of Super Myriad World props appeared, a systematic voice appeared in Monk's mind. It's a pity that I couldn't catch Myriad World props. The voice of the system sounded in my head, saying. Monk was overjoyed when he said the previous sentence. Because he hopes to get Super Motai, Motai and Wazi can only be obtained in the consolation prize of the Air Force. Monk himself complained about himself. He didn't look forward to so many good Myriad Realms props, and he didn't expect new Myriad Realms props, but he was looking forward to the Air Force consolation prize. If you say this, will you be beaten to death? As expected, Monk got a consolation reward of 5.9 open black lens bracket supreme Motai close black lens bracket. The name sounds nice, but in the final analysis it is super grade Motai, the high level one is called Chao Zunxiang, and the middle level one is called Zun. Nice. Monk shouted inwardly. In this way, as long as he keeps this bottle of premium Motai, the 450 universal experience points he gained today can be doubled and used. It is very possible to break through the level and usher in another promotion. The voice of the system in the mind continued. Congratulations to host for obtaining Weird Cells *10. Obtained for the first time, the system is being improved. Weird Cells. At the beginning, Monk wondered what a weirdo cell was, why he hadn't heard of it before, but soon Monk remembered that it was from One Punch Man. This thing can instantly improve a person's strength, but it will turn into a weird person, and his personality will change, becoming somewhat violent and tyrannical. It is an evil thing. Monk made an evaluation of this weird cell in his heart, but after the improvement of the system, it should not become a weirdo. The high probability should be like this. After all, the improvement of the system so far has been developing in a good way, and there is no bad side. At the same time, what Monk doesn't understand is why this weird cell will give 10 at a time. This is a bit unreasonable. Logically speaking, it is impossible for so many new Wanji props to appear at one time. Monk has some vague guesses. Soon the system improvement was completed. Monk looked at the system with certainty and saw this introduction. Advertisement. Chapter 85 Inspire the potential of terror. 10%. Be the first one to succeed. Advertisement. The system has finished improving the Weird Cell, and the description of Weird Cell is as follows. Weird Cell after use, there is a chance to stimulate the potential of the user and greatly enhance the strength of the user. P.S. The chance of successful stimulation is 10%. The corner of Monk's mouth couldn't help twitching slightly, this touching probability. No wonder 10 will be given. According to such a probability, only one of these 10 will succeed. Monk thinks it's better to just fish out a Weird Cell that can stimulate 100% of its potential. It seems that when you are lucky, you succeed in a row, even if there are only 2, you still earn, but the probability of this is that all of them will fail to a large extent. For Monk, the most annoying thing is this kind of probabilistic thing, which is too easy to change. That's all. Monk decided not to think about it. Because anyway, Monster Cell is going to be given to Marine, and it will not affect me at all even if a few of them succeed in the end. All I need is the premium Motai. Monk closed the shot and decided to announce the final special, Myriad World Props. Seeing Monk finish the shot, the Marines all around immediately surrounded him. Hey, if you still get a random devil fruit this time, the Marshal will apply for it for me. Kizaru applied in advance. Now both Akainu and Aokiji have benefited from awakening Conqueror's Haki with open black lens bracket super holy water close black lens bracket, but he has nothing. Sengoku responded casually. We'll see. Why don't you get any benefits yourself? Don't you have points for yourself? Kizaru's strength is actually not weak, but it's too watery. Sengoku can see it, but he doesn't say it. In the distance, Kaido, Ant and others all watched attentively to see what Marine got this time. Hope there won't be another random devil fruit. Big Mom prayed. Kaido groaned, without speaking. Although it is said that the devil fruit's ability can indeed improve people's strength, but in front of the powerful Haki 29, no amount of bells and whistles is useless. Kaido would have preferred not to fish for a magical item that would boost Haki. Compared with Big Mom, Kaido understands how the most powerful players should go. Sengoku now doubles devil fruit, the ceiling of combat power, has surpassed Roger in terms of combat power, but if he really fights against Roger, he may not be able to win. In a real battle, no party can say that it has an absolute winning rate, unless the combat power is really crushed, and absolute invincibility can be achieved. I saw Monk quickly took out the open black lens bracket weird cell close black lens bracket. After systematic improvement, the appearance has changed slightly, from a bloody vermilion to white, and the color change makes the monster cells look less disgusting. However, there are still tactile protrusions, and it seems that the heart is constantly beating. Watching Monk take out 10 weirdo cells, this amount surprised the generals of Marine. So many? Crane asked in surprise. This is the first time, there was only one magical item before, Sengoku said. Hee. Why care about the quantity? For us, the more magical items the better. Garp said with a smile. His carefree personality is in line with a nonsensical fruit like Nika. By the way, don't you think the magical item this time is disgusting? Momosuke next to Monk had a look of disgust on his face. Just like the heart of an animal, it's still beating. Everyone also nodded subconsciously. Although it is said that this is a magical item and it was obtained from superfishing, this new magical item is indeed a bit disgusting. In the distance, after seeing the miraculous item fished out this time, the Shuanghuang Tuan started talking about it. Linlin, have you seen this magical item before? Kaido asked Ant with a glance. No, the ant replied decisively. Our big mom pirates have no magical items with similar descriptions in the intelligence, it should be brand new magical items. Kotaku said. Brand new magical item, the surrounding members of the Double Royal group murmured. I don't know what effect it will have, I hope it won't bring too much improvement to Marine. Everyone in the Double Emperor group prayed that Marine's promotion should not be too great, otherwise it would be really hard to handle. Port, Monk smiled helplessly. It's really disgusting. But there is no way, this magical item looks like this. Advertisement. Men like Sengoku, 3 Admiral, Zephyr, and Garp don't care too much about the appearance of this weird cell. What's the use of this? Sengoku asked. These men are most concerned about this. Monk handed the monster cells in his hand to the generals of Marine, 1 for each. After all, it was too troublesome to hold 10 weirdo cells in his hand. In addition, these weirdo cells kept beating, which made Monk inexplicably feel a little painful, so he simply distributed them to everyone present. This way he can relax himself. After distributing, Monk said, this magical item is called a weirdo cell. Such a saint's name on the Marine will be subject to change. Momosuke couldn't help but said, why does this name sound so pervasive? Hee. Monk chuckled, but did not answer this question. Continue to introduce. As long as you eat it, you can stimulate the potential of a person's body and achieve the effect of improving strength. Sengoku, San Admiral, Garp, Zephyr and the others were immediately amazed when they heard that they could improve their strength. Haha, Sengoku, the Marine Admiral, couldn't help laughing. In this way, doesn't it mean that our Marine's combat power can be improved again? On the other side, Momosuke and the others frowned when they heard that this disgusting thing was going to be eaten, and they were very conflicted. But, Monk continued, making everyone look at him again. However, there is a probability that the eccentric cells will activate their potential. The probability is about 10%. This couldn't help but made the generals present stunned and even more surprised. How can there be a probability? And the probability is only 10%, which is too low, isn't it? What happens if you fail? Regarding the questions from Marine generals, Monk shrugged his shoulders and answered some more meaningful questions. It doesn't matter if you fail, it is equivalent to eating this weirdest cells for nothing. As for things like probability, I can't do anything about it. Everyone in Marine didn't continue to ask questions, they looked at each other, and then looked at the weird cell in their hands. It's a good thing, but the probability is low. Monster cells can stimulate a person's potential, which is naturally a good thing, but not only Monk thinks the probability is touching, but even Marine's generals also think this probability is too touching. ESZT. According to this probability, only 1 out of 10 can succeed. Everyone on Marine's side felt helpless, but this was very gratifying for the Double Emperors. 10% chance, haha, Mormon. The ant couldn't help laughing out loud. First think your Marine luck is very good, you will definitely succeed in several. Obviously, Ant is acting weird. Kaido also laughed lowly. I also think what Linlin said is right. Aren't you Marines always lucky? I think, at least 9 successes. Kaido and Dama sang and drank, and they were constantly acting strangely, which made the Marine generals look black. Even if all of them are unsuccessful, our Marine is not something that your Shuanghuang can compete with. Akainu snorted coldly and said in a low voice. This made Kaido unhappy. If it weren't for Monk's fairy beans, do you think we would be afraid of you Marine? Kaido's tone became bad. Come, Akainu, if we have the ability, we won't use any magical items to fight. See if Lousy will beat you up. Akainu is naturally also a person with a bad temper, and he is also confident in his own strength, and he is about to provoke Kaido directly. Enough, Sengoku snapped. Akainu, don't be provoked by the other party. War is not a child's play, let alone a life and death battle. Since we have good things, we can use them. We should use them. Sengoku spoke to Akainu in the front, and Kaido and Big Mom in the back. It is impossible for him to let Akainu and Kaido start a war here. Firstly, the two sides have reached an agreement. In this case, fishing should be the main focus. Otherwise, the sacrifice of the soldiers and the robbing of many magical items just now will be in vain. Secondly, although the current Akainu says he has awakened Conqueror's Haki, he will probably lose if he really faces Kaido, the strongest creature. Seeing that Sengoku had opened his mouth, Kaido knew it was over, so he couldn't help but sneered. I wish you a 10% chance of success, hehehehe. Kaido laughed out loud again. Advertisement. Marine, after being scolded by Sengoku, although they said that everyone was still very dissatisfied with Kaido, they kept silent and did not say anything more. Sengoku returned to the topic, looked at his nephew and said, I just need to take it. Monk nodded, that's right. Just eat it. As for success, it depends on luck. At this time, Akainu asked his own question. Then to stimulate the potential and enhance the strength, what kind of potential is specifically stimulated? This also depends on the individual. Everyone's potential is different. It may be taijutsu, it may be haki, or it may improve the control of devil fruit, or even awaken it. Monk replied. This kind of answer made everyone in Marine inexplicably excited. Even the control of haki and devil fruit can be improved. Zephyr was shocked. This strange human cell is powerful enough, no wonder the probability of it being improved is so small. On the side of the Shuangwangtuan, everyone's faces were black. Weird cells can improve a person's strength in almost all aspects. If it is 100%, it is a terrifying magical item. Marine here. Akainu in the crowd decided not to talk nonsense anymore. Because of the touching success rate, the other generals were a little hesitant, worrying what to do if they didn't succeed. However, Akainu didn't care about these, even if the strange man's cells looked very weak in appearance, he didn't care, and immediately ate them. The Marine generals couldn't help but looked at him one after another. For a while, everyone was silent and waited silently. If Akainu eats it, is there a 10% chance of success? On the side of the double emperors, Kaido, Big Mom and others also saw that Akainu ate the strange man's cells, and couldn't help laughing. Hee, Kaido said with a deep smile. With a 10% probability, it is estimated that these 10 weirdo cells will be wasted. It can be said that Kaido is very good at things with this kind of probability. Experience, because the man-made devil fruit he bought from Mingo has a probability of success. It's almost 10%, but with such a probability, most of them almost fail. Only with a huge base can the probability be approached. Ant also agrees with Kaido's opinion. From the perspective of the double emperor, Marine's 10 weird cells are likely to be wasted. It also means that this time the super fishing will be empty, which is undoubtedly an extremely happy thing for Shuangwang. However, Katakuri behind him was stunned for a moment, and then he widened his eyes and said, success, success. Hearing Katakuri's exclamation, everyone in the double emperors couldn't help looking at him. Both Kaido and Big Mom looked at Katakuri in astonishment. What did you say? It worked. Ant's voice was about to become sharp. Katakuri nodded. Yes, that's right. Kaido and Auntie suddenly turned extremely ugly, and turned their heads to look at Akainu in the distance. With a 10% probability, the first one will succeed. Is this luck a little bit better? Because Katakuri met the future with his own observation Haki, it is said that the current Akainu has not succeeded in reality. Port. I saw that after Akainu took it, a sticky red liquid flowed from Kakuzu's mouth, which made Momosuke and others feel their stomachs were overwhelmed. Sengoku and others hurriedly asked Akainu, how do you feel? Immediately, everyone saw the corners of Akainu's mouth outlined, and with the thick liquid on the corners of his mouth, Akainu looked a little scary at this time, like a devil from hell. Akainu didn't answer everyone's own changes, but turned to look at Kaido, and said with a sneer, Kaido, didn't you just want to fight me one-on-one for a while? Without fairy beans, without any magical items, can you dare to fight? Kaido's eyes shook, he gritted his teeth and looked at Akainu, his observation Haki also felt the change in Akainu's aura. However, as the strongest creature, how could he remain indifferent after being provoked? He gritted his teeth, and said in a deep voice, don't think that you are so embarrassing because of a small improvement. Akainu laughed loudly. Then don't talk nonsense, come on. After all, ignoring Sengoku's persuasion, he jumped up, using the jet of magma to go straight to Kaido. Weird Cell boosted his lava fruit ability. Advertisement. Chapter 86 The terrifying promotion of Weirdo Cells. Defeat Kaido with one move. Shuangwang was dumbfounded. The probability of this Nima is 10%. Advertisement. After Akainu ate the weirdo cells and successfully improved his potential, he decisively took Kaido to test the knife. Seeing that Akainu is so confident, Kaido is also very dissatisfied. He didn't talk nonsense and stepped forward. Akainu, your potential to improve is the ability of devil fruit, how dare you shout in front of me with this? Laozi is not afraid of your lava at all. Kaido has some absolute self-confidence. After Akainu's potential is improved, the improvement brought to him is not Conqueror's Haki, but devil fruit ability. What is Kaido afraid of? His strongest creature, physique can only be broken by Haki, the powerful Conqueror's Haki. Kaido is not afraid of all other bells and whistles. Although Akainu's lava fruit is known as the most powerful devil fruit, Kaido is not afraid of high temperatures at all. You must know that Kaido's most powerful move, Fire Dragon Torch, itself is the blazing heat that wraps ultimate on the surface of his body. So, in Kaido's view, Akainu's magma is here to tickle. Behind him, the ant sneered, ha ha ha. Akainu seems to have had a grudge against Kaido for a long time. Jin smiled and said, after all, Akainu is known as the strongest admiral in the contemporary marine, but he has always been overwhelmed by Kaido, and Devil Fruit's ability has been restrained. Of course, he is very upset. Now that the potential of Devil Fruit's ability has been stimulated, I can't wait to settle the score with Brother Kaido. As everyone knows, only Conqueror's Haki can break Master Kaido's defense so far. Jack laughed and said, after taking the weirdo cells to stimulate the potential, and then being defeated by Master Kaido, Akainu probably won't be able to hold his face. From the perspective of the double royals, Akainu is just asking for trouble. The person involved, Kaido, also felt the same way. Akainu didn't make a sound, because he felt the improvement brought by the weirdo cells, not just a little bit, at least several grades. His speed was fast, Kaido's speed was also fast, and after just a few seconds, the two came face to face. Thunder 8 trigrams. The fierce light in Kaido's eyes erupted, and at the same time, a faint red light appeared, and the 8 fasts in his hand was wrapped around a black thunder, and the aura that erupted shook the world. Although this move is Kaido's most common move, its power and speed are terrifying to ultimate. Everyone in Marine looked dignified. Kaido's strength has improved a lot recently. Garp said in a deep voice. Yeah, Sengoku nodded. Then he said a little depressed. Akainu is too hasty. If he still loses to Kaido, I'm afraid it will hit him a bit. Just hope the weirdo cells give his devil fruit potential a huge boost. Rarely did Momoshiki chime in with the higher-ups. However, Garp shook his head and said, I'm afraid it's still a bit difficult without Haki. Garp is a strong man from Roger's time to the present, and he deeply understands that she is the ultimate weapon. Kaido uses Thunder 8 trigrams, and blasts towards Akainu. Akainu shouted. Great eruption. He also used the most conventional moves, hot magma flowed from his body, and the magma turned into a huge fist and bombarded Kaido. Crimson, fist bombarded, Kaido originally disdained it and planned to resist the blow directly, but his pupils shrank suddenly. There was an unbelievable and incomprehensible look on his face. What's going on? His premonition turned out to be to tell himself that he couldn't take Akainu's attack. How is this possible? The heat has no effect on him. Such astonishment, the pause stopped Kaido's bombardment, even if it was less than a second, it could change the situation for the battle of the strong. Akainu's great eruption bombarded down, enveloping Kaido. Kaido found that it was impossible to dodge, which made him grit his teeth and plan to take Akainu's attack hard. He doesn't believe in evil, how could he, the strongest creature, be afraid of Devil Fruit's ability? Great eruption attacked Kaido like this. Kaido, who was enveloped by the magma for a moment, only felt a stinging pain from the high temperature all over his body. Although it didn't hurt him too much, the feeling was enough to make him feel deeply shocked. However, he couldn't think too much about it. Kaido immediately armed himself with armament Haki. Great eruption's attack bombarded him, causing this most delicate creature to slide a few meters. The arms that were crossed in front of him resisted were already emitting green smoke, and there was a piece of scorched black. Backquote. Kaido let out a low voice, firstly because he felt a little pain, and secondly because he was shocked. Although it didn't affect his combat effectiveness, he was indeed injured. He was injured in the first attack between the two sides. The most important thing is that Akainu didn't use any Haki, and he was injured simply by relying on the attack of Devil Fruit's ability. All around, both the Marine side and the Double Royals were shocked. Advertisement. I'm not mistaken, am I? The ant's face was in disbelief. This guy Kaido is actually injured. As an old acquaintance of Kaido, although the ant said that she has not seen Kaido for several years, she still has a good understanding of his strength. This guy Kaido has been caught by Marine many times, all kinds of punishments are useless on him, his defense is amazing, and now he is broken in an instant. It's a bit outrageous. Jin, Quinn, Jack and others were equally astonished. The potential of the monster cells to stimulate the ability of Akainu Devil Fruit is too scary, isn't it? Battlefield. When Akainu saw Kaido was injured, excitement was written all over his face. Kaido is hurt. Before he was the strongest admiral, because the ability of Devil Fruit was restrained by Kaido, the strongest creature, it made it difficult for Akainu to hold his head up in front of Kaido, but now it is different. He was able to hold his head up. Kaido, my current magma has a more terrifying temperature than natural magma. The magma on Akainu's body appeared again, and he shouted, the dog gnaws the red lotus. He attacked Akainu again, only excitement on his face. Akainu's body drilled into the ground, and after pounced on it, it formed a giant magma dog. The magma dog was aggressive, roaring and pounced on Kaido. Kaido's face was gloomy, and he transformed into a half-beast directly, fighting towards Akainu. Lousy must beat you. -3. Kaido uses a terrifying attack, the mace in his hand is spinning, even the strong can only see afterimages. Using the terrifying inertia to increase the power of his blow, he smashed it down instantly. The two sides confronted each other again, and the terrifying attack caused a torrent of power to form between the two sides, facing each other across the air. Behind the two, Marine and the Shuangwangtuan watched this scene with bated breath. Everyone is waiting for a result, which is who is stronger today, Akainu or Kaido. The two sides stalemate for a few minutes, and finally Kaido flew out first, and then hit the ground heavily. The members of the Double Royal group suddenly let out an exclamation. On Akainu's side, he also flew upside down, but he was able to stabilize his body and prevent himself from hitting the ground, not as embarrassing as Kaido. Kaido slowly stood up from the ground. At this moment his face was gloomy to ultimate. He looked down at his hands. At this time his proud defense was completely broken, and it was directly broken by Devil Fruit's ability. Kaido's hands were scorched black and trembling constantly. The faces of the Shuangwangtuan behind them were extremely astonished. Mr. Kaido, Jin murmured. The strongest creature was injured again, thinking that Mr. Kaido was injured by Odin 20 years ago. Odin was fighting to the death, what about Akainu now? 2 attacks, both of which allowed Kaido to break through. What's more, Kaido still took out his strongest form, the half-beast form, which is also injured. The improvement brought by the weirdo cells is a bit drastic, Katakuri said in a low voice. The ant gritted her teeth. There is a 10% probability that it will succeed just once. Otherwise, can Akainu's lava fruit ability be improved so much? All the people present were silent. I really don't know what to say with such a probability of success once. Although Master Kaido is injured, it doesn't affect the overall situation at all. It's not certain who will win in the end of the life and death battle. Jack said, still dissatisfied. Quinn glanced at him, biting his cigar and said in a bad mood, although there is nothing wrong with saying this, but this is not what we care about. It's the improvement that the monster cells brought to Akainu. Now Akainu's lava fruit can easily break through the defense of Kaido. Do you know what it means? It means that the attack power of Akainu's magma has reached the strongest in this world. Jack fell silent for a moment. He only realized it later, right? Why didn't he think of the significance of this level? As the strongest creature, Kaido can be said to be the person with the strongest defense in the world. Now Akainu has 2 moves, and both of them have broken the defense. Brother Kaido, this means that no one in this world has been able to resist the attack of Mercury Sky before. Akainu's lava fruit ability has the highest attack power in the world. It's an exaggeration for a weirdo cell to bring such a huge improvement to Akainu. After Akainu's knife test this time, everyone realized how terrifying Monk's strange cells are. Advertisement. Marine here. Everyone was more excited than one. Ha 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 ha. Garp laughed out loud. Amazing. He looked at Monk while praising. Obviously he was not praising Akainu but Monk. Even if I'm back to my peak, I can't break Kaido's defense in a short period of time, but today's Akainu magma attack can easily break Kaido's defense. As expected of super fishing, the 2 billion Baileys are worth it. Sengoku shouted. 2 billion Baileys can produce a strong player who can easily break Kaido, which is absolutely worth it. Monk smiled and didn't answer. To be honest, he didn't expect that the weirdo cells would bring such a huge improvement. Among the crowd, after the T-Dolphin saw the huge improvement brought by the weirdo cells, he no longer hesitated, so what about Naja? As long as he can succeed, then he can become stronger, and becoming stronger may be able to win back Momosegi's heart. For Momosegi who has been following Monk lately, his heart is broken. While praying, the T-Dolphin closed his eyes and took it. After a few seconds of digestion, he exclaimed in surprise, I also succeeded. Ha 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 ha, don't mention how happy the T-Dolphin is, with a 10% probability, he also succeeded. My swordsmanship potential has been stimulated, and the swordsmanship has at least advanced several levels. All the marine generals around were also very happy. While congratulating the T-Dolphins, they felt happy for their luck. The double royals here. Kaido took a lot of jelly beans, which healed his wounds from the fight with Akainu. However, after hearing the voices of the marines at the port, when cheering, he couldn't help showing surprise. Successful again. 10% chance, the second one succeeded. Big Mom, Jin, Katakuri and others also came to ultimate in astonishment. This is too outrageous, right? All the members of the double royals face black. Exclamation mark. After the T-Dolphin ate the strange man's cells, his swordsmanship improved and he was closer to Admiral's strength. Now he has well deserved the title of Admiral's candidate. Originally, Monk was the first person under Admiral, but now there is a T-Dolphin tied with Monk. The T-Dolphin immediately proposed to Monk to have a discussion. Monk naturally knew what this dog licker was thinking, and he just wanted to show Momosegi his strength, and take the opportunity to take revenge on himself. Hee hee. Monk chuckled. Li Haojiao, yes. But this place is not suitable now, wait until tomorrow. Let's compete tomorrow. Monk plans to allocate some universal experience points when he goes back tonight, and tomorrow he will be competing with T-Dolphins. In fact, if the other party is not a T-Dolphin, according to Monk's personality, he must reject it, but if it is a T-Dolphin, Monk simply agrees, because Monk hates dog licking the most. It's time to fight. The T-Dolphin didn't know what Monk was thinking, and when he saw Monk agreeing, he was overjoyed and invited the rabbit to be the referee. Momosegi rolled his eyes and said to Monk, Monk, why did you promise him? This guy is making trouble for no reason. It's okay. Monk said indifferently. Just to test how to improve Conqueror's Haki can be brought to Conqueror's Haki by combining the special motai with universal experience points tonight. Today's Monk has unconsciously begun to care about his own strength. Perhaps this is because in this environment, I have been subtly affected. After the episode passed, after both Akainu and the T-Dolphin succeeded in using the monster cells, everyone in Marine rushed to take the monster cells. In the end, out of 10 weirdo cells, 5 succeeded, namely, Akainu, Chifu, Momosegi, Crane and Zephyr. This makes Marine's comprehensive strength once again improved. Sengoku, the Marine Marshal, would have wanted to dance if the environment wasn't suitable. He couldn't help looking at Kaido and Big Mom, and said with a smile, Kaido, Mom. Thank you for your good words, our Marine is really lucky. Just now Kaido and Ant were acting strangely, and now they naturally want to go back. Both Kaido and Big Mom are stupid, the success rate of this Nima is definitely 10%. Monk, are you kidding us? Monster cells actually have a 50% success rate, right? Advertisement. Chapter 8710 Advanced Fishing Releases. Advanced Universal Capsules. Immediately seal the little god. Advertisement. Monk said that the success rate of the weirdo cells is 10%, but now such a probability makes 10 Marines succeed and 5 people succeed. This good luck is a bit exaggerated. The double royals seriously suspected that Monk was lying just now, and it wasn't the 10% that Monk said at all, I'm afraid it was even higher. Monk let out a laugh, and said with a very helpless look, I am also very helpless. The probability is indeed 10%, but what I didn't expect is that luck is so good. 5 of the 10 weirdo cells succeeded, probably because the blessings from the 2 of you at the beginning worked. The latter sentence made Kaido and Big Mom gnash their teeth in anger. Monk, you kid, don't be too arrogant. The ant cursed. Monk didn't care at all, I'm already keeping a low profile. Besides, if I'm really arrogant, what can you do? If you double emperors feel uncomfortable, go to war directly, and I will give all my celestial beans and intermediate celestial beans to Marine. Let's see if there are still your twin emperors in this sea after today. You little devil, the ant gritted her teeth angrily. Once upon a time, she, the strongest woman in the sea, was bullied like this. Hee hee. The ant laughed lowly angrily. Even if there is a real war, we will try our best to pull you back. Back. Monk laughed. I'm afraid you won't be able to hold me back. If a war really starts, I'll use any door to leave right away. Who will stay here? B ************ D. The ant was about to explode. It's true that if Monk walks directly through any door, they can't do anything to him at all. Although they also snatched the arbitrary door, Monk can go to any place by using the arbitrary door to leave directly. They have no way of knowing whether Monk will go back directly to naval headquarters or where to go. That's the power of magical items. Monk, even if a person like you is powerful, no one thinks highly of you, and no one regards you as a strong man. Katakuri came out and spoke to find a good job for his mother. Monk shrugged directly. Get rid of it. I don't want to be strong. As he spoke, he glanced around Marine, and continued, ask the generals of Marine 633, when did I practice? I really don't want to be strong, but somehow, I can beat Jack's strength. Jack's face changed drastically, damn it. Why did you lie down without opening your mouth? The connotation of Monk, he felt ashamed of the connotation. For Versailles like Monk, everyone in the double emperors was speechless, and each of them could only be incompetent and furious, and chose not to speak. This time, even on Marine's side, everyone was very speechless to Monk's words. Even if they were hit by these words, what does it mean to have the strength to defeat Jack without knowing how? In this way, what is the purpose of their general's hard work in the past 10 years? Although he was speechless, what Monk said was true. He was just dawdling in the days of naval headquarters, and he had never seen him practice at all. Everyone couldn't help looking up at the sky, this world is really unfair. After a while, Sengoku said angrily, okay. Monk stop talking nonsense and keep fishing. After talking about it, even he, the Marine Marshal, is going to be autistic. Monk didn't care about his uncle's anger, he smiled and said, okay. Uncle. With that said, let's continue fishing. 4 times of special fishing have been completed, and the next step is 16 times of advanced fishing. Advertisement. This time Monk didn't want to use the mid-level fishing for high-level fishing, because Monk used up too many jellybeans just now when he was fighting Jack. At the same time, the fox pretending to be a tiger just now also made Monk realize one thing, that is the importance of primary level Shondo and intermediate level Shenjong. This kind of thing requires a lot of preparations, as long as there are enough numbers, it can fully support Monk to leapfrog the battle. So Monk intends to replenish his stocks of primary and intermediate beans this time, so that he can spend more time fishing for advanced ones without squeezing out money. Don't think about these things anymore, Monk directly fishes with 10 high-level baits at the same time. The waiting time for advanced fishing was not long, only a few minutes, and the results of 10 advanced fishing this time sounded in my mind. 2 bottles of advanced Motai, 1 pack of advanced Wazi, the consolation rewards only accounted for 3/10, which is considered lucky, and they used to occupy half of the rewards before. The remaining Myriad Realms props are open black lens bracket advanced immortal bean close black lens bracket 1 piece, open black lens bracket advanced any door close black lens bracket 3 leaves, open black lens bracket advanced super holy water close black lens bracket 1 bottle, open black lens bracket advanced universal capsule close black lens bracket and the final open black lens bracket devil fruit curse elimination potion close black lens bracket. Because the high level fishing has been done many times this time, the Myriad Realms props mentioned are also very diverse. Looking at the harvest this time, it can't help but make Meng's eyes shine. I thought there were no high-level fairy beans, but there are. Monk is the first to look at the high-level Sendo. The effect is exactly the same as that of the intermediate-level Sendo, but the resurrection time is extended. The resurrection time of the intermediate-level Sendo is within a few minutes, while the high-level Sendo is extended to no more than half an hour after death. Will be able to resurrect. Nice. Monk couldn't help clenching his fists. This is a pretty good bean. On the battlefield, the situation must be very chaotic. Once killed in battle, in fact, it is difficult for teammates to go immediately to revive with intermediate level beans within a few minutes, and it is easy to miss these few minutes, resulting in a waste of intermediate level beans. Advanced Sen bean makes time abundant. Monk originally planned to keep it for himself, but after thinking about it, he finally decided to send the high level fairy away. Because he is such a life-saving person, he will never put himself in danger, so it doesn't make much sense. The intermediate level Shondo is enough. There is no need to say more about any door. The number of uses has been increased to 30 times, which is somewhat similar to the universal experience point. Monk seriously suspects that according to the nature of the system, if there is a high probability of super fishing on any door, it should be a lucky bag. The next step is advanced super holy water, which I have fished before, which is to awaken the Conqueror's Haki, and instantly increase the strength of the newly awakened Conqueror's weapon. As for the advanced universal capsule, Monk doesn't need to read the description to understand it, it just has a larger storage space a little. However, when Monk glanced at the description of advanced universal capsule, his eyes widened in disbelief. Grooving. This added functionality is a bit of a joke. Monk was shocked. Monk was deeply shocked by a new function of advanced universal capsule. It's really a bit of a shame. It can be compared with his system storage, of course it is still a little worse than his system. Why did Monk choose to send out the high-level fairy bean? Although the resurrection time was extended by half an hour, Monk didn't need this at all. Because he has storage space, at the moment when he feels that he is about to die, Monk can instantly extract the fairy beans placed in the god-level fishing system, and the extraction position can be anywhere on his body. Come and include in the mouth. That's right. Monk can extract the middle-level fairy bean in his mouth 1 second before death, so that he can be resurrected at the moment of death. That's why Monk wants to give away the high-level sendo. And one of the new functions of advanced universal capsule is that it no longer needs to be pressed and thrown out like the primary universal capsule and intermediate universal capsule. It only needs to be placed on the body, and then think when you want to move your mind, you can instantly store any inanimate objects. Of course, the release must be in your own hands. It cannot be released directly in your mouth like the Monk system. Although it is not as convenient as the Monk system, this newly added function is enough to make the advanced universal capsule more convenient. Great progress. At the same time, there is another point that is a restriction on putting in storage. This description was a mouthful, and it took Monk a while to understand what the restrictions were. That is, if you want to put an item in, you must have an unknown state for 10 seconds. That is to say, for example, you are carrying advanced universal capsule on your body. During the battle, you cannot instantly put the opponent's weapon into your advanced universal capsule. You have to drop it for 10 seconds, and no one touches it during the battle. Touch to put the weapon into the advanced universal capsule. For this limitation, Monk also thinks it is normal. If there is no such restriction, then the high-level universal capsule will become a god. In this world, there are not so many people who are strong in physical skills like Garp, Roger, red-haired, eagle-eyed, and so on. These strong men all use knives. If they can seize their weapons in an instant, it will make people their fighting power is greatly reduced. Although it can't be said to be a god, but advanced universal capsule has added this new function, which can be regarded as a small god. Powerhouses like Marine have the universal capsule, and they will be able to adopt more subtle changes in their fighting methods, making it difficult for opponents to guard against them. Advertisement. To be honest, if there were more advanced universal capsules, Monk would plan to arrange one for himself. Although his system has its own storage space, and there is no limit, you can put as much as you want, but the premise is to put the Myriad Realms props directly into the system space after fishing. If it wasn't for the Myriad Realms item, it couldn't be put in, and at the same time, it couldn't be put back in after it was taken out. It's a pity that there is only one advanced universal capsule. Monk thinks that this advanced universal capsule, which can be called a little god, is probably very unlikely to appear in advanced fishing. For advanced fishing, regular props should be regarded as advanced arbitrary doors. Do not care. Monk decided not to think about these things anymore. Anyway, he took one step at a time and watched one step at a time. There are still 6 advanced fishing times. If there is a second advanced universal capsule, he will keep one for himself. This time the advanced fishing, the last Myriad Realms item is Devil Fruit Curse Elimination Potion, this one should be regarded as the original of God-level fishing system. As for the function of this prop, it is as easy to understand as the name, so Monk no longer looks at it. Continue to throw the pole, leaving the last 6. While throwing the pole, Monk prayed for an advanced universal capsule, this one is enough to enshrine the props of the myriad worlds of the little god, and he also needs to have one high and low. Soon the last 6 high-level fishing came out, which are Super Exclusive Wazi, 2 packs, No Super Exclusive Motai, and then Advanced Any Door, 2 packs. Just like what Monk thought similarly, in advanced fishing, any door can be regarded as a regular item, that is, an item with a relatively high probability. The last 2 are Bamboo Dragonfly and Advanced Universal Capsule that Monk prayed for. This made Monk feel extremely happy. Since he crossed, his luck has improved a lot. Is this the so-called transshipment? No longer thinking about these messy things, Monk started to sort out the high-level fishing this time, and then looked at what to send out. Premium Motai and Premium Wa. Monk decided to keep one piece of each, and give away the rest, or use it as a replacement for props in the future. For Wanji props, Monk intends to send out Advanced Senbean, Advanced Universal Capsule, Open Black Lens Bracket Advanced Arbitrary Door Close Black Lens Bracket, Open Black Lens Bracket Advanced Super Holy Water Close Black Lens Bracket and finally Devil Fruit Curse Elimination Potion, the rest will be made up with tobacco and alcohol. So far Monk closed the shot. When Marine saw Monk finish the shot, all of them showed anticipation on their faces. After so many fishing trips, everyone in Marine is quite calm now, not in the same mood as they were at the beginning. According to the usual practice, Sengoku, the Marine Marshal, was the first to ask Monk what he caught this time. In the distance, the double emperors were also staring intently, to see what this fishing trip would bring to Marine. Port. Monk directly took out the open black lens bracket advanced Senbean close black lens bracket. This high-level Senbean has a few more gold borders than the middle-level Senbean, which shows his extraordinary. Everyone in Marine couldn't help being stunned. Shondo. It can be said that the combination of the elementary level Shondo and the intermediate level Shondo directly confers gods, and both healing and resurrection are available. Now, what functions can be added to the more advanced Shondo? I thought it was impossible for Sengoku to appear higher level, but I didn't expect there to be a high-level Sengoku. Sengoku murmured. What effects will be added by being more advanced? Zephyr asked out of his curiosity. Hey, Kizaru also raised his head curiously, and then said in a deep voice, could it be that the buried dead can be revived? This sentence made the Marine generals around look at Kizaru with weird eyes. What's going on in this guy's brain? Resurrection of the dead who have been buried. How can those people take fairy beans when they have become skeletons? Monk also can't laugh or cry, and I have to say that Kizaru is really here to be funny sometimes. Naturally, it is impossible to resurrect the buried dead, Monk explained. Advanced Shondo did not add new effects, but extended the time it can be revived. As long as the death does not exceed half an hour, then you can be revived by taking Shondo. Advertisement. Chapter 88 Kaido. Akainu used this to awaken conquerors. The sneak attack artifact is here. Advertisement. Half an hour. Monk's words made all the Marine executives present exclaim in unison, and their pupils were all shaken. They didn't question Monk at all, they believed what Monk said. After all these many fishing trips, Monk has never lied once. Sengoku took a breath, and when he came back to his senses, he was excited. Although there are no new effects, the resurrection time has been extended to half an hour, which is quite good. Yeah, haha, absolutely great value. Momosuke smiled. The reason why she was so happy was that in this way, if something happened to Monk, Marine would be given enough time to revive Monk. If Monk knew that Momosuke thought so, he would definitely twitch the corner of his mouth, and then say to her, thank you so much. The original resurrection is within a few minutes. For a big battle, the situation is very chaotic. It is easy to miss the best resurrection time, and the probability of failure is extremely high. But now that it has been extended to half an hour, the probability of a successful resurrection has increased by a little bit. The Marine generals were in a good mood, and the high-level fishing gave them a surprise from the very beginning. In this way, they can fight even more desperately in the future. Sengoku directly took the high-grade Sengo from Monk's hand as if he had taken a treasure. In the distance, on the side of the Shuangwangtuan, their faces have been gloomy for what they have been doing since today. Resurrection is outrageous, and the time can be extended to half an hour. The ant didn't know how to be shocked, and Monk's magical item made her feel a little numb. It's okay. Kaido gritted his teeth. If there is a war with Marine, we will directly open an account after we kill it. In this way, no matter how powerful Shondo is, he will never be able to be resurrected. Ever since he was threatened by Monk with the immortal beans, Kaido has been thinking about a problem, that is, how to crack the resurrection of the immortal beans. The best way at the beginning is to prevent people who want to help resurrect, and did not think of extending the resurrection time in this way. After killing a Marine general, he can only destroy the corpse. No one from the Double Emperor group said anything, and this was the only way to crack the immortal bean. Port. Monk continued to take out the first high-level Myriad Realms item, Advanced Any Door. Knowing that the number of uses has increased to 30, Sengoku grinned from ear to ear. This thing is a prop that the more the better, the more the better. But when he was happy, Sengoku was a little strange. Monk, is there no alcohol or tobacco this time? In the previous fishing, tobacco and alcohol were taken out from the beginning, but this time there was no one. Could it be that this time I did not catch any fish? Monk slapped his forehead, almost forgot. After finishing speaking, I took out the high-level Motai and the high-level Wazi, 2 bottles of wine and 1 pack of cigarettes. Although it can't bring instant improvement to one's own strength, it can bring several times of growth to cultivation, which is quite a good auxiliary cultivation item. The most important thing is to be able to train newcomers. Let Marine cultivate a new generation of strong players faster. After distributing the alcohol and tobacco, Monk took out open black lens bracket advanced super holy water close black lens bracket. Everyone in Marine is familiar with this. The most excited among them belongs to Kizaru. Yo yo yo. Kizaru opened his mouth into an shape. 10 faces are excited. Both Akainu and Aokiji and Admiral have already awakened Conqueror's Haki with open black lens bracket super holy water close black lens bracket. This time it must be his turn, right? Finally get to experience what it's like to unleash Conqueror's Haki. However, what Kizaru did not expect was that the advanced super holy water was eventually given to Zephyr after negotiation. The reason is that because he is now responsible for protecting Monk, he needs higher combat power so that he can be stable. Kizaru was immediately dumbfounded. As the strong fighters on the front line became stronger, wouldn't the rear line be safer? However, this is not decided by Sengoku alone, but most of the senior management of Marine have the same idea. Even Akainu agreed. That's right, Momosuke and teacher Zephyr must be improved in strength, so that Monk's safety can be better protected. As for why Zephyr was given instead of Momosuke, it is because Zephyr has recovered his severed arm, and his wife and daughter have been revived. Zephyr is developing in the right direction both in terms of combat power and mentality. It is also more sophisticated, so it is preferred to enhance the hair. Zephyr naturally had no objection, and took the advanced super holy water from Monk without any nonsense. Granny he still mentioned that the bottle was for her, but this time she didn't want to use it for flower arrangement, but for Hina, the girl from the branch, Rear Admiral, came to Naval Headquarters a few days ago, and she valued this bottle at a glance. I asked Crane for one. When Hina was mentioned, Grandma he thought of something, and said to Monk, that's right. Monk. Hina Rear Admiral said she would also be a bodyguard by your side, do you want it? Before Monk could answer, Sengoku's face turned black. Grandma Crane, can you stop everyone from pushing Monk around? Advertisement. Besides, the right to make decisions about personnel adjustments is here. What do you mean by asking Monk directly? Sengoku really wanted to scold people, he was extremely depressed. Did the co-author really ignore him as the Marine Marshal? Could it be that a word from Monk really brought Hina over? Granny Crane ignored Sengoku, and said calmly, as the Marine's chief staff officer, I also have the real power to mobilize. Although Hina said that the branch needs her, isn't there a random door? If it's really urgent, just let Monk take any of them and give them to Hina. Monk really can't laugh or cry, co-authoring Granny he is planning to stuff her former Marine Special Force members around her. Of course, Monk doesn't have any opinions, surrounded by beauties, only opinions. Seeing that Monk had no objection, he said directly, then it's settled. I'll contact Hina after I get back. Sengoku's face was extremely dark, he also understood Granny Crane's thoughts, he didn't think that following Monk would bring improvement to Marine's people, and the ultimate benefit also belonged to Marine. Sengoku simply ignored it with a cold snort. Far away, the double royals didn't care about the little dispute on Marine's side, what they cared about was the new magical item that Monk brought out. What's that, Lin? Kaido looked at Big Mom and asked. They beasts pirates haven't seen this magical item yet. The ant's face was not very good looking, and she said in a low voice, that is super holy water, which can awaken people's conqueror's haki. Kaido, 3 disasters, and the rest of the 100 beasts' faces changed drastically. Akainu used this to awaken conquerors. The beasts pirates members such as Kaido, Mikasa, and Fei Lubao felt helpless. Ah, Quinn smiled wryly. Just watching fishing for a while, I already feel that the world view has been completely shattered. The heart is getting bigger. Katakuri cast a glance at him. You guys are just watching a short fishing trip. Our big mom pirates saw it once in Cake Island before. Now I feel that Monk's magical items are omnipotent. Everyone chattered, talking about their current feelings. Port. After Zephyr took the advanced super holy water, he took it directly, and after a few seconds, Conqueror's haki broke out uncontrollably in his body, and Conqueror's haki swept the audience, making the faces of beasts pirates green. The newly awakened Conqueror's haki is so strong. Jin was startled. Ant also felt extremely stunned. The Conqueror's haki awakened before is not so powerful. It should be a more advanced magical item, that's why it can make the newly awakened Conqueror's haki so powerful. Katakuri said in a deep voice. Kaido's face turned completely green. It's outrageous, it's outrageous. The strength of Conqueror's haki just awakened after using the magical item has reached such a high level, which requires him to practice hard for at least 2 years. At the same time, he has to experience countless life and death battles during these 2 years. When he reached such a Conqueror's haki, it probably took him for 4 or 5 years. But now, after Zephyr took the magical item, Super Holy Water, Conqueror's haki directly reached such a level. Is it too shocking? Why is there such a devil fruit ability as fishing fruit in this world? The magical item directly made all the hard work of their strong man who has gone through many years to reach his current position in vain. Kaido just felt deeply hit. After a while, he let out a breath slowly and looked up at the sky. This world is really unfair. He felt that there was no wave in his heart after being hit now. The achievements that can only be achieved by one's own hard work, on the other hand, can be achieved by drinking water. Everyone in the Beast's Pirates was suspicious of life, and there was no way they were really hit. TT. At the port, after everyone in Marine congratulated Zephyr, Monk continued to take out magical items. I saw Monk took out open black lens bracket advanced universal capsule close black lens bracket. Seeing the advanced universal capsule, everyone did not show much expression, neither expecting nor regretting. After all, universal capsules are the same as any strategic item, the more the better. Crane smiled and asked. The primary universal capsule can hold a giant marine warship, the intermediate level universal capsule can be loaded into the Mobity of the Whitebeard pirates, and I think the advanced one should be able to hold 1.5 Mobity. Biddy. Advertisement. That's not the case. This time, the space improvement of the advanced universal capsule is not too big. Monk said. The main highlight is the addition of a convenience feature. Oh, Sengoku originally thought that the improvement of the advanced universal capsule was the storage space, so he didn't ask much. But I didn't expect that the advanced universal capsule actually added a new portability function. Sengoku hurriedly asked. What portability function? The other marine generals also looked at Monk curiously, waiting for his answer. Monk sneered. Didn't you guys find that the button for this advanced universal capsule is gone? Only then did everyone look carefully at the universal capsule, and found that the button was really missing, which surprised everyone present. Why is there no button? Kizaru asked unexpectedly. Hey, isn't this button an important switch for storing items? How can it be used if it is gone? 0. The other marine generals were also extremely curious. Yes, how to use this universal capsule without this button? Haha, Monk chuckled. This is the willingness to improve the portability of the universal capsule. Now you don't need to press a button, and you can store items instantly with a thought. Everyone is looking at me, I look at you, completely unable to understand Monk. This sentence. One thought can store items, how to do this? This is not too strange, because the level of science and technology in this world is not too high, so it is normal for people not to understand something like consciousness. Monk was too lazy to talk nonsense, and immediately covered it up. Akainu, you lend me the lightning pill. Akainu has his own lightning pill. In today's Akainu, Monk has a very high status in his heart, so naturally he didn't hesitate at all, and Monk would give Monk what he needed. Monk directly put the electric light pill on the ground, and reminded the restrictions of the advanced universal capsule while demonstrating. After taking it from Akainu, and then the lightning pill is on the ground for 10 seconds, and no one touches it during the period, it can be judged as an ownerless thing, so as long as we think about storing the lightning pill in our hearts. Pills, you can put the electric light pills on the ground into the universal glue. Quote. Everyone watched the lightning pill on the ground disappear out of thin air, and Monk didn't need to hold the universal capsule in his hand. Everyone in Marine was deeply shocked by this operation. Akainu was extremely shocked. Don't you need to touch that object yourself? No need. The corners of Monk's mouth were drawn. However, it needs to be within the range of 5 meters. If you go beyond the range, you can't do this. Everyone in Marine didn't care about this limitation. The most amazing thing is that you don't even need to hold the universal capsule in your hand. If people around you don't know about it, they won't know why the item disappears out of thin air. Yeah, Sengoku's eyes twinkled. The storage function of this universal capsule can be used for specific parts, which can exert miraculous effects. For example, the Special Operations Department, when they want to steal something, don't mention how convenient it is. While Sengoku was thinking about this, Akainu continued to ask, what about releasing the contents of the universal capsule? The corner of Monk's mouth was outlined, and the next second before everyone could react, a lightning pill appeared in his hand. At the same time, the physical strength was injected instantly, and the figure moved. Monk arrived in front of Akainu in an instant. Akainu frowned and blocked the lightning pill with his arms. Akainu didn't ask what Monk meant, but looked at the lightning pill in Monk's hand in disbelief, his pupils quake. The same instant release. None of the generals present was stunned, and of course more excited. Sengoku has a smile on his face. The improvement of convenience directly makes the universal capsule a god. Sneak attack artifact. 10,000. Advertisement. Chapter 89 New magical item. Can anyone swim again? Marine top manpower conquerors. Conqueror's Chinese cabbage. Advertisement. The marine generals were all pleasantly surprised. I didn't expect that after the portability of the universal capsule was improved, it would be able to exert such a miraculous effect and directly enshrine the gods. In this way, the strategic value of this universal capsule has once again increased. Sengoku grinned. This, the resourceful general, has already thought of many sets of usage plans for this advanced universal capsule in his mind. What Monk just demonstrated is one of them. For individual combat, the advanced universal capsule can allow the strong to have more unexpected means and moves. When used in military operations, it can also achieve unexpected effects. All in all, the improvement of the portability of advanced universal capsule has brought a lot of creativity to this magical item. Monk also put away the lightning pill and returned it to Akainu. Akainu took the lightning pill and said, Monk, your physical skills are still a bit lacking, practice more when you have nothing to do. As long as you don't play badly, you will soon be able to become the top player in Marine. Monk's sudden attack just now made Akainu feel that Monk still lacked some physical skills. Otherwise, with Monk's physical fitness, the outbreak just now would definitely hurt Akainu. Monk didn't say a word, his left ear went in and his right ear went out. Keep yourself from being bad. That's not okay. What's the point of living a life that doesn't suck? Life is so short, it's just for enjoying, so what's the point? Akainu also saw that Monk didn't listen to his teaching at all, and didn't continue to talk. He asked Monk for the universal capsule and tried it himself. Not only Akainu, but other marine generals also take turns to try and feel the magic of the advanced universal capsule. Everyone was deeply amazed by this premium all-purpose capsule. With such portability, 673 can be called a devil fruit ability. On the side of the Shuangwangtuan, everyone was astonished and insensitive. B***************** D. It's another artifact. Kaido clenched his fists so tightly that he was shaking. Yes, the ant also sighed with emotion. If I have this advanced universal capsule, I can conjure dessert anytime, anywhere. Kaido, you know, the dessert will not expire in the universal capsule, I tried it before. Everyone in the Beast's Pirates, including Kaido and 3 Calamities, could not help but twitch their mouths. I really can't complain, such a powerful magical item, Yinma actually wanted to use it for decoration. Are you kidding us? Anyway, you are also a majestic emperor of the sea, can you be more reliable? Now is an extraordinary period, a period when Marine is rapidly improving, and such a period is still so unreliable. To be honest, everyone in Beast's Pirates does not want to cooperate with Big Mom. Maybe one day he will be cheated to death by this woman. However, Kaido still knows the ant very well, and said in a deep voice, Linlin, be serious. Now is a special period, and we must find ways to check and balance the situation. Although the universal capsule can be regarded as an auxiliary item, after improving the convenience, there is still some improvement for the strong. After thinking about it, if Kaido is fighting Akainu in close quarters, and Akainu suddenly uses the advanced universal capsule to take out a lightning pill, even Kaido may stumble. That is a magical item that can instantly elevate a person to the level of the world's #1 swordsman. Fortunately, although the magical items that monk fishes are magical, they are not dominant in quantity. Take Xiaoshondo as an example. Although the effect is not as strong as monk's genuine shondo, it is also close to Xiaoshondo after the quantity is large. Linlin, didn't you say you want to cooperate? Kaido whispered. Suddenly this happened here, and everyone present couldn't help but look at Kaido. Ant immediately sneered and said, What, Kaido? Are you agreeing? Kaido didn't have any jokes, and nodded heavily. That's right, I agree. From today onwards, the cooperation between our double royal group has officially come to an end. It won't work if you don't achieve it. After Marine has Monk's magical item, his strength has improved bang bang. In the past, a royal group was able to compete with naval headquarters. Now Marine's comprehensive strength has improved, and it can already suppress a royal group. Therefore, their double royal group must keep warm, and at the same time find a way to check and balance the current situation. In the future, our focus should not be on the little fairy beans, but on the universal capsule, and any door, and other magical items. Kaido said the next plan. At the same time, recruit Guy Saw, and Kluk scientists to see if we can create a perfect artificial fruit. Asterisk 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 asterisk. Advertisement. Then Kaido didn't continue to say, that is, there is another purpose of uniting the double royals, to snatch Marine. This is necessary, otherwise, if this process continues, the Emperor of the Sea will cease to exist. The two royal groups are discussing in a low voice, and Kaido and Big Mom formed an alliance in this way. There were no earth-shattering waves, and there was no sensation in the sea, and the alliance was peacefully formed like this. At the port, everyone in Marine tried the advanced universal capsule, and then they were waiting for the last magical item. Now there are 7 high-level fishers, and the last one is left. According to the general law, Monk will put the most special magical items at the end. After so many fishing trips, everyone knows Monk. So for the last magical item, the general still had a little expectation. Monk didn't disappoint them, and really brought out a brand new magical item, a magical item that no one in Marine had ever seen. This is a bottle similar to the super holy water, but it is not as exquisite as the super holy water bottle, and the overall color is still brown. It can be generally seen that this is a brand new magical item. Oh, sure enough, the last one is really a brand new magical item. Kizaru said. Everyone else remained silent, waiting silently for Monk to introduce this new magical item. Monk chuckled and said, Everyone, one of you will be able to experience the fun of swimming like Vice Admiral Garp. This sentence immediately made all the generals present couldn't help being stunned. What does Monk mean? What does it mean that we can swim in the sea like Garp? Could it be that this is a special liquid that can be applied all over the body so that people don't come into contact with seawater? Suru, the Marine staff officer, guessed. There is something similar on the Sabayati archipelago, that is, the resin bubbles made of mangroves, which allow the capable person to move in the sea without touching the seawater, so that they will not receive the sea mazukage sound. Monk couldn't help shaking his head and laughed. No. This potion can directly eliminate the side effects of devil fruit. It's called Devil Fruit Curse Elimination Potion. Marine couldn't help exhaling after everyone heard the name of this magical item. Sengoku said with great joy, I was just wondering if there would be a magical item that erases the Devil Fruit Curse, and it really did appear. Ha ha ha. The eyes of the 3 admirals are also shining. They are all capable, and they are naturally very envious of the magical items that can eliminate curses. That is to say, Zephyr, Momosugi, T-Dolphins. These people who are not demon fruit power do not have much fluctuations in this magical item, after all, they have never experienced the pain of being a landlubber. Of course, they were still happy that Marine got this magical item. Among the crowd, Kizaru was extremely active this time, and immediately applied for this one for him to use. The super holy water just now didn't belong to him, so it should be given to him this time, right? In the 3 admirals, both Akainu and Aokiji have benefited, awakened Conqueror's Haki, and even Akainu has an electric light for. He is also admiral, it would be unfair not to give it to him. Kizaru felt that the probability of this time was very high, and the scene that he could go swimming in his spare time in the future appeared in his mind. He hasn't swam since he took the sparkling fruit ability, which is almost 20 years. Thinking about it, the ape felt a little excited. When fishing in the future, another entertainment item will be added. However, at this time, Hiyuyu said, I can give it to you, but this magical item is not the best choice for you. It should be given to Sengoku. The current Sengoku has 2 devil fruit abilities. Because of the fruit of everyone at the beginning, the maximum value of random devil fruit has not been brought into play. Fishing this brand new magical item now is just the right time for Sengoku to maximize the value of his dual devil fruit abilities. After Kizaru heard this, everyone was dumbfounded, meaning that I don't have my share of the benefits this time. Don't be like this, I'm also admiral, so I can't treat them differently. The more Kizaru wanted to speak, Sengoku, as the marshal of the marine, was the commander in charge of the rear. He could be regarded as the second line, and he would not shoot often at all. Giving it to him is obviously the best choice. Akainu, the good brother, saw what Kizaru wanted to say, and said calmly, "You are about to become the second tier, Kizaru." Puff. Monk couldn't help bursting out laughing immediately, realizing that he lost his composure. He waved his hands again and again as an apology. Akainu's words are not implying that Kizaru will retreat to the second line, but that Kizaru often fishes. In fact, everyone in Marine knows about the co-author of Moving Fish and Ape, but Kizaru still plays his own role occasionally, so everyone didn't say anything. Kizaru was depressed to death, but he was powerless to refute anything. Advertisement. I had no choice but to have my swimming dream shattered. After the final selection, without the slightest change, this Devil Fruit Curse elimination potion was given to Sengoku. After Sengoku took it, a burst of black mist appeared on his forehead immediately, and he was about to go into the sea immediately. Garp behind him smiled. Sengoku, don't worry, if the curse is not lifted, you are still a landlubber, and I will rescue you. Sengoku said unhappily. I trust my nephew very much, and I don't need you to worry about it. Soon Sengoku goes to sea. The side effects of devil fruit really disappeared, and Sengoku swam in the sea after a long absence, but the posture was as ugly as it was. Monk fell into deep shock. Nima, it turned out to be a dog planer. That's right, Sengoku's swimming style is extremely like a dog planer. The double royals here, Kaido, Big Mom and the others fell into deep astonishment. War, Sengoku actually started swimming in the sea. How inconsistent this scene is, it seems that demon fruit power is actually swimming in the sea. This magical item, I'm jealous, Jack said eagerly. He is very envious of this open black lens bracket devil fruit curse elimination potion close black lens bracket. If he didn't have the devil fruit curse, he wouldn't have to lie on the bottom of the sea and wait for the support of other members when he was in Res Rosa. Don't say. Jack, who in the double royals present is not jealous. Except for the royal group of red hair, most of the other 4 emperors groups are formed by capable people, and all of them are landlubbers. If you can eliminate the curse, you will lose a fatal weakness in yourself. Let's talk. Jin couldn't help but said. Monk is really demon fruit power. Everyone was silent and did not answer. Because no one has an answer to this question. Say no, then why can Monk catch magical items? Say yes, but Monk's magical items can change the root of devil fruit, and even create evil. The devil fruit came out, completely surpassing the devil fruit. Maybe it's a higher rank devil fruit. Katakuri guessed. Everyone present was silent because no one knew. On the sea, Sengoku, who enjoyed a while of dog patting, swimming, returned to the crowd. 5.1 He laughed and said, it's been too long since I've been swimming, and my posture is a bit strange, haha. The corner of Monk's mouth twitched. Is this strange enough to describe? I just can't bear to look directly at you, you might as well be a landlubber all the time. Monk would like to say something to Sengoku. You swim very well, don't swim again in the future. Finally think about it or forget it. Instead of arguing with everyone present, Monk started fishing this time without waiting for anyone to say anything. Because it's getting late. Just now Marine and Shuangwang went through a big battle, which consumed a lot of time. If they don't fish faster, they won't be able to get off work in time, so we must hurry up. Next, is 50 times of intermediate fishing. Monk fished in 5 times, and the speed was still very fast. Because the quantity is enough, it is said that there are several more lightning pills this time, and because Monk has already paid for nothing, so it is said that all the lightning pills have been given away. Kizaru was holding a lightning pill with an excited expression on his face. He was about to cry, and this admiral was finally good for him. At the same time, 50 times of fishing this time also got 2 bottles of intermediate super holy water. Although it is not as heaven-defying as high-level super holy water, it has a certain strength at the moment of awakening, but there is. Better than nothing. Kizaru also awakened Conqueror's Haki, so far most of the marine executives and veterans have Conqueror's Haki. Far away, everyone in Kaido was numb, shaking his head vigorously, things that only people with the qualifications of a king can awaken, now they have become Chinese cabbage. The members around were speechless, not knowing what to continue feeling. Times have changed. Advertisement. Chapter 90 Fishing on Ghost Island ends. The deployment of Kaido made Marine the target of public criticism. Advertisement. At this time, Katakuri said silently, not only has Conqueror's Haki become Chinese cabbage, even the top-level knife skills are worthless. No, Jin corrected. It should be said that the world's #1 swordsman is worthless. When he said this, to be honest, Jin was very depressed, because he is also a great swordsman. After so many years of hard work, he did not expect to be defeated by a knife. As long as a strong person gets the lightning pill, no matter what the opponent's sword skills are, even if he has not practiced one skill, he can still become a great swordsman, and he is also the #1 swordsman in the world. Garp can be used as an example of this. The blow is huge. All the members of the Shuanghuang Tuan were silent again, shaking their heads one by one, feeling extremely complicated. A new era has truly arrived, one in which Monk's magical items will reign supreme. If they want to keep up with this era, then they must get Monk's magical items, or they will be eliminated. Then this premise is to rob Monk's magical items, of course. Not to rob now, but to find other opportunities. At the port, everyone in Marine didn't know what everyone in the Double Emperors was thinking, and everyone was in a good mood at this time. The lightning pill gave them a few more masters of the first level of swordsmanship. Even if they were used by vice admirals, they would not be able to reach the level of the world's #1 swordsman due to their own background, but they could still get a lot of promotion. Take Momoshiki and T. Dolphin as an example. Once these two admirals candidates hold the lightning pill, their levels can approach admiral's level infinitely. Most of the other magical items are replenishing Marine's inventory, such as intermediate hyphenation point Senbean, intermediate hyphenation point universal capsule, intermediate hyphenation point anywhere door, etc. Monk is also replenishing his inventory. He replenished several middle-level fairy beans, which gave him many chances to save his life. Then there is the source rope of age, which can only be recovered for 10 years after intermediate fishing. Monk intends to keep this magical item for himself, so he will not give it to Marine. He is not in a hurry for his uncle to regain his youth. In the original storyline, Sengoku is still alive and well after 2 years, and he is not in a hurry. It's better to fulfill the promise to Momoshiki first, otherwise this woman keeps nagging every day, and Monk is also annoying. So, Monk left the time source rope of age to himself, and gave it to Momoshiki when he went back tonight. To Monk's surprise, Intermediate Fishing also released a new Myriad Realms item called Mission Must Reach. Monk has a bit of influence on this Myriad Realms prop. It seems to be a prop in Rick and Morty. It can summon a man who must reach a mission, and then arrange for him to do something. Before this thing is completed, the mission must be completed. Da will not disappear. After improvement, this new Myriad Realms item, Mission Must Reach, can only summon 5 Mission Must Reach at the same time, and it has no strength. Meng didn't care about this, he resolutely kept the new Myriad Realms props that must be fulfilled for his mission to himself. It is simply the perfect artifact. If you want to do something, you just need to call out the mission to do it for yourself. Monk is in a good mood. Immediately after that is the final fishing, 100 primary fishing. Monk fished all the primary fish in 10 times, and then distributed 50 primary Myriad Realms props to Marine. Basic 10,000 Realms props, basically even if there are new 10,000 Realms props, they are not very powerful. For example, Gourmet's tablecloth, this Shinmanji prop can produce unlimited delicacies. The same as the bad artifact for Monk, so he can bid farewell to Marine's canteen in the future. This makes Monk still like this Gourmet's tablecloth very much. There were also a lot of elementary and physical strength pills, which made Monk think of one point, that is, this time there were no physical strength pills for the special, advanced, and even intermediate levels. This can be regarded as a regular prop, and it can only be said that the probability of fishing this time is a bit confusing. Afterwards, a new devil fruit was released from primary fishing, called Fortress Fruit. For this devil fruit, Monk still has an impression, it is the devil fruit of the gang boss, Supernova, what is it called? Monk also forgot, anyway he doesn't like this devil fruit very much. He doesn't want to stuff people into his body, but the devil fruit caught directly in the system cannot be used by others, and it would be a waste if not used. I don't know if these unavailable devil fruits can be fused into new fruits. Monk felt that it would be good if he could catch a 10,000 worlds prop with this function. Advertisement. The useless devil fruit can be fused to become a new devil fruit. Don't think about it anymore. Monk closed the rod, and all 100 primary fishing times have been completed. For beginner fishing, Monk is quite satisfied. He replenished a lot of fairy bean stocks, and at the same time added a few stamina pills, and a piece of rotten gourmet cloth, yes. There are also some scattered universal experience points. However, Monk doesn't care too much about the universal experience points gained by beginners and intermediates, because there are too few. The total of intermediate and elementary levels is 150 times, and so many experience points are not given to you by getting lucky bags from special fishing. Now Monk's experience points add up to nearly 650 points. Let's see how many times the premium motai can be improved tonight. On the Marine side, Sengoku is also satisfied with the primary fishing this time. The same fairy bean supplemented the inventory, as well as memory bread, universal capsules, and the very important stamina pill. What surprised Marine and others was, speaking of Monk, this time there are 50 primary fishing times, and there are no new props. Yes, gourmet tablecloth, do you want it? No, Monk replied. After he finished speaking, he didn't say anything else, he went out of any door and went back on his own. It's time to get off work. There is only a gleam of brilliance left in the setting sun, and today is considered overtime. Monk made a decisive decision and left work decisively. Behind him, Zephyr and Momoshiki followed Monk and left. Not only the two, but Kizaru also rushed to get off work, so they left with Monk. Soon, Sengoku and others also left the island. Today's fishing is officially over. Ghost Island. Kaido, Ant and the 4 emperors watched Marine leave as if nothing had happened. With any door, it can be said to come and go without a trace. Call. Some people in the double royal group let out a long breath, feeling complicated. Kaido also stared at the port for a long time, then looked at Judge and said, "You Vince Moke family, hurry up and analyze the arbitrary door, our next plan is to continue this magical item." Kaido asked the Vince Moke family to fully reproduce any door, so that they can implement the next plan. As for the research on other magical items, Kaido intends to take a break for the time being. At present, Shondo has reproduced Xiaoshondo, and the battery life of the double imperial group is not too big a problem. In battle, battery life is the most important thing, and the second is to improve the strength of their double emperors. Kaido plans to find Guy, and start to study his blood factor. Kaido then looked at the ant again, and said in a deep voice, Linlin, it's time for you to appear like a queen. Quote. Ant said. And looked at Kaido in confusion. What do you mean? Is it my chance to play? You have the world's largest intelligence network, know the major forces in the dark world, and you release the news directly. The ant's eyes were slightly fixed, and she didn't continue to ask anything, waiting for more to say. The first is to release all the magical item information to let the whole world know about Monk's magical item, and then continue to render the magical item to make people feel as frightened as possible, so that everyone who sees the news will feel heart palpitations. Kaido told Big Mom the news he wanted to let Big Mom spread. Added a sentence at the end. And finally, Linlin, you are adding a rumor. After a pause, Kaido sneered and said, it's not a rumor, Monk's magical item has brought such a huge improvement to Marine, and it will inevitably develop into a situation like I said. All the members around were silent and did not speak, waiting for Kaido's next deployment. Although Kaido is called a tyrant, he often rushes to get things done, and sometimes even commits suicide. He either goes to various branches of Marine to do things, or goes to the Sky Island above 10,000 meters to play, bungee jumping, looking crazy, but he can show his extremely high strategy at critical moments. The last news to spread is that with the blessing of Monk's magic item, Marine intends to abolish the Shichibukai system, and even wants to involve political issues. The ant couldn't help frowning. Kaido, I can understand the front, ha ha. She laughed lowly. It's nothing more than wanting to make Marine the object of fear and guard against all the forces in this sea, but the second. I can't understand it. Marine is one of the 3 major organizations under the world government. Will the world government believe any rumors involving the government? Advertisement. The world government is not stupid. Kaido showed a meaningful smile and looked at the ant. We don't care what the old guys in the world government think or what the scumbags think, we just need to give guidance. Believe me, no high-ranking person will tolerate the long sword in his hand having the power to hang around his neck. Ooh. After Kaido finished speaking, he looked up to the sky and screamed. Since Monk has the ability to raise Marine's combat power to the highest in the world, then we will make all forces in the world fear Marine and make Marine a target of public criticism. The plan of the Double Royals is naturally unknown to Marine. Naval Headquarters, inside Monk's room. When Monk returned to the room, he began to mess around, lying motionless on the easy chair. Momosuke and Zephyr also followed Monk back to his room, and Kizaru also followed. After all, he was as anxious to get off work as Monk. When he came to Monk's room, Kizaru didn't leave in a hurry, looked at Monk's room, and said, Yo, I didn't expect it to be even more unique than our admiral's residence. The marshal is a bit biased. Monk also ignored Kizaru, and directly took out the junior motai and began to drink it on his own. Although this thing is called wine, it is not harmful and can be used as a thirst quencher. He didn't say anything, and sent a bottle to Zephyr and Momosuke directly, which made Kizaru on the side stunned. His mouth formed an shape, and his eyes twinkled under the toad glasses, full of envy. Cooperating with the world's best wine that I regard as my treasure, I carefully collect it, and I don't want to drink too much when I'm fishing. Just a small glass, and it's directly used as thirst-quenching water at Monk. 790 is a bit extravagant. Kizaru was shocked. A bottle is worth 2 million Baileys. He, an admiral, can't do such a luxury. Now Kizaru finally understood why Momosuke would give up her bright future, and teacher Zephyr would lower her status to be Monk's bodyguard. I want to be a bodyguard next to Monk. Chun just enjoys it. Kizaru loves wine very much. Seeing that Monk didn't give him a bottle for a long time, he couldn't help but asked, Monk, can you give me a bottle too? Monk didn't even look at Kizaru, and directly gave Kizaru a bottle. This directly made Kizaru feel unbearable, and he couldn't wait to open the motai and blow a whole bottle. The physique of people in this world is completely different from that of the last world, and the capacity for alcohol has increased a lot. Even Monk, who doesn't drink much, he can drink a whole bottle and he can look like a normal person. However, the reason why Monk is so generous this time is because he has done 50 elementary level fishing for free, and the elementary level tobacco and alcohol will naturally increase. After drinking a whole bottle of motai, Kizaru just felt sour. Then Kizaru said, Yo, after drinking the premium wine, I'm hungry too. He looked at Monk, Zephyr and Momosuke and said, Do you want to go to the marine cafeteria together? The calculation in Kizaru's heart was slapping, and he went to eat with Monk. After the meal is full, why don't he continue to drink? In this way, wouldn't he be able to prostitute a bottle for nothing? Momosuke and Zephyr also feel a little hungry, there will be a big fight today. However, Monk said, Kizaru Admiral, we don't need to go to the cafeteria, we can order it at home. Momosuke immediately said, I'm so tired today, I don't want to cook. Monk didn't answer either, just sneered. Soon a few people saw that Monk took out something like a tablecloth, and placed it on the ground. Immediately after that, a miraculous scene happened. Monk threw Bailey in, and Bailey disappeared in an instant, and food appeared on the tablecloth. The types of food are extremely rich, all kinds of delicacies, and they are also very beautiful, which directly hits the aesthetics of human beings, and it is quite appetizing at first glance. Momosuke's beautiful eyes stared straight, doesn't this look beautiful? Zephyr's steady predecessor, Admiral, couldn't help swallowing, this delicious taste makes my mouth water. It is also the first time for Monk to use open black lens bracket Gourmet's tablecloth close black lens bracket, and he can't stand the temptation of this cloth. He was not stingy either, and directly invited everyone present to eat together. After all, he came here for nothing. Kizaru is no exception, his admiral almost drools just now. Advertisement.